Hey everybody, this is Fighter Xaos, leader of the Geek Fighters, and streaming with me, as always, let me introduce my cohorts, my normal cohorts, or my co-streamers, my fellow Geek Fighters. There we go.
Yes.
Makes it sound less sinister. That's Double RPG, who just said yes. Say hi again.
Hi.
And the newest Geek Fighter, Visible Ninja, say hi.
Hello, people.
And joining us for this stream, somebody who joined us. I wasn't here, so he stepped up Saturday, and he's been with us before, and that's Omega Mario. Say hi.
Hello, everybody.
Gives us our fresh UK take on these
Yes. Gives us more diversity by having people from around the world on our streams at times.
Yeah, when I'm around.
things. Yeah, because it's from where I am in the East Coast. It's 5 hours ahead of me, and that's like. So it's like, what, it's like what, 7 p.m. over there?
It's pretty late.
Okay.
Yeah, LPH says unfortunately he can't be here because he's got to get his wisdom teeth taken out today.
Oh boy, I've had that happen.
Yeah, me too, man. So we know the feeling. So if you got to get your teeth pulled, by all means, you got to get that taken care of.
It's not fun not eating food you want to eat. That's the only thing. That's the only problem I had.
Mm-hmm.
I had to eat like pudding, and I'm sick of pudding. I want chicken.
Yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't necessarily pudding for me, but it was more just
it was pudding and ice cream
gelatin.
And
it was more gelatin for me.
Oh my god, I was getting so. Remember that? Because I was with y'all. I wasn't with y'all the day but I was like on the day after or like a few hours later.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just complaining that the painkillers they gave me. I'm like, psh, these supposed to be strong painkillers. I don't feel nothing.
Oh yeah, what? Oh, you know how you feel?
Absolutely nothing.
That's how you feel.
I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it?
Absolutely nothing.
They heard it at least.
Yeah. Well, I do have a voice meter in the Skype call, so at least you should have been able to hear that.
Should have.
I didn't hear it on this side.
Well, let me go to my settings, make sure that it's there. Audio, video.
Checking if I hosted, and I am hosting.
Yeah, it shows that, it says that voice meter is supposed to be on, so it should have been able to give you the option to hear that.
And a great sadness filled his nostrils.
Sometimes voice, I don't know why. Sometimes, I hear it, and then sometimes it's like, we want to mess with you.
Oh,
that's
well.
Technology, isn't it?
Yeah, that's technology, so we'll have to do some more tests with it to see if anybody can hear it, but if not, then you guys will hear it, but unfortunately they can't even hear it today. Because they would have heard the... Metal, calm down! They would have heard the metal, calm down part.
Oh, yeah. Metal, calm down. I gotta say
Best new meme ever.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, like my favorite part isn't even me. It's that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, we're going off tangent. So, we're here because E3 just happened. If you saw our live streams, you know how we felt at the time. But now it's been a couple days. We're a couple days removed. And we've had more information pop out about certain things. And we have time to let our thoughts, be cool and collected about this stuff. So, you want to go in order of how the conferences happened and talk about, again, we're talking the order of the conferences happened, but you can bring up whatever we know now as well. It's just, I'm just talking about each company as their conference happened, but you do not have to be restricted to the time the conference. And that would be the PC show. EA, actually. That would be EA. What's there to talk about with EA?
Not terribly much, since they kind of didn't do a conference, really.
Yeah, they just show, hey, here's Jedi Last Order.
Yeah, all they did this year was, we've got 30-minute blocks, but it's actually 20-minute blocks for.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Nothing more, no more, no less.
Yeah, I mean the Star Wars one, that was alright because it covered most of the time. But I didn't like how they did it, and also admittingly, before the FIFA block started, I instantly jumped over to Nintendo's tournaments and watched the Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational instead.
Yeah, and Abadallah was the one who actually won that thing. He beat the completionist during that event.
Oh, snap! Completionist was there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I guess he would be.
They had a bad moment at the start of it because they had the two female ones go head to head and Gerard and Habadallah, but they put the video feeds the wrong way round. So while I was watching the stream on my end with a friend of ours, a bad gamer, I saw one of the sides do something like really, really cool. And I was like, yes, go Gerard, go Gerard. And then all of a sudden they went, yeah, we had the cameras all the wrong way around. So there's me thinking Gerard was doing something good, but it was Abadallah instead. I was like,
Good job, Nintendo. Good job.
yeah,
Nintendo.
I was pretty gutted when I saw that because I was like, hey, go Gerard.
Yeah, sadly.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, but back to Nintendo. Not back to Nintendo. Back to EA. I'm not too sure how I feel about Star Wars. Mostly because it's Respawn, but the game's not made with what Respawn know, and that was the Source engine.
Mm-hmm.
This is another Frostbite game.
Oh, see, I wasn't even thinking about that. Huh.
Well, I mean, if you look at how detailed it all looked and everything, I was like, this is not Source engine.
Yep.
I was sitting there thinking, yeah, this is not Source engine. They've got Respawn to do something on Frostbite, and my heart sank.
Ah.
Me and Jeff were talking about the combat itself. It looked fine, but it kind of felt a little like it should have been a little more amped up, like faster or more fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of it's like, hey, this super guy with superpowers is fighting like a normal dude instead of like a superpowered guy.
Mm-hmm.
The combat can be very much compared to a Zelda game. Like you Z target one, take care of him, and then Z target the other one.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, Dane, but I think I figured out the problem why you guys couldn't even hear the soundboard. But let me see if you guys can actually hear it now. Metal, calm down.
Yes, I heard that clear.
Yeah. Yep. And here's this from before when I was trying to get people to hear the absolutely nothing bit.
Absolutely nothing.
Good day, son.
And a great sadness filled his nostrils.
Yes.
Anyway, please continue, Dane.
I think that's all I wanted to say about the combat.
Like for me, with
it just
EA,
felt very Zelda.
Yeah, and that was the only thing I don't hate what I saw. I was just like, this. I don't know. I feel like it should be more, like I said, like more...
just underwhelming, essentially.
Yeah, there you go. But what do we expect from EA?
I mean, what do we expect from EA? Well, that answer's easy.
Absolutely nothing.
It's funny about Last Orders. I liked everything but the combat. I liked the exploration. I liked using force powers on the environment.
Mm-hmm.
But the combat itself, I was like, eh.
And I mean, especially when it comes to Star Wars, you would expect it to be a lot fast-paced because
exactly
when they're in battle.
Like I told Jeff, I was expecting like DBZ, like crazy swings with the sword, like
Mm-hmm.
There's something crazy like that,
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting combat similar to the vein of like Devil May Cry or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, you can see the combat, and then all of a sudden, as soon as I saw them like target and move around, I was like,
and that's very sad too, because that Stig Asmussen, who worked on God of War 3, is the director for Star Wars.
Yeah, so he knows how to do combat. Let's make this realistic. Star Wars, realistic.
It's all fantasy.
As I say, my heart sank as soon as I saw the combat. I was like, I was interested. Now I'm slightly not interested.
Another Star Wars game. You think it'll be good, but then all of a sudden it's like this.
Oh, son of a gun.
Yep.
And that's what we call the near Gabbo in this soundboard.
Gabbo, Gabbo, Gabbo.
All the kids at school are SOBs. But yeah, now I didn't watch the stream myself because we were actually busy doing our own stream with Shenmue 3. Or not Shenmue 3, but Shenmue last week.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And funny enough, we didn't play any Hang On, but we did get some more story done. But it's just EA didn't really hold my attention whatsoever. I mean, they really disappointed me throughout this whole decade with how they presented themselves on a live stage. It's everything about Madden, FIFA, sports games, Battlefield, or Star Wars. That's it.
And I like Star Wars.
Yeah, I like it. I like it too, but it's just.
But yeah, it's like speaking of Metal, you didn't say anything.
No, I guess it's my turn, isn't it?
Yeah, so I say what I said.
I do admit at first it did sound good, but after seeing some of the gameplay, it doesn't seem like the combat's terribly good. Like, it doesn't look clunky or horrible, but it definitely doesn't seem like what this kind of game should be. Like, kind of like you guys said, I wouldn't exactly say Devil May Cry, but I guess another good idea would be to put out as a similar game is maybe like The Force Unleashed, which is like a lighter version of Devil May Cry, which I think would suit a game like this very well. But as you guys said, Respawn's kind of not in their element. So that's maybe hampering them because they're being forced to use the Frostbite engine and not one they're more familiar with. So yeah, that could be part of the issue.
I really don't understand why EA has to continue using the Frostbite engine on all things when that engine is primarily more used for first-person shooters to begin with.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I didn't even think. Yeah, you're right.
It's because they don't want to pay license fees.
It's their engine, so hey, let's use it for everything.
That's why they don't want to go to like Epic or whatever and pay whatever Epic charge for license fees or whatever.
Unreal, yeah.
They get everyone to use Frostbite, even though it's more tuned to Battlefield, and that's basically what Frostbite was for. And then
like that's the sad thing about Jedi Fallen Order is, I mean, the story sounds and looks interesting, but the combat seems like it definitely leaves much to be desired. Like, I'm not saying I won't buy it, but it'll probably be what I did with Battlefront 2 of just wait until it's like wait until it's like $10. Wait until it's like $10 or under. So yeah. But yeah, other than that, EA kind of didn't really show terribly much else that was interesting, especially with how they presented stuff. So yeah.
For my end, in terms of EA, because I know we probably won't want to be much more on this because let's be honest, there weren't anything else major that they announced. I mean, the Battlefield 5 stuff I already knew because I still watch a few Battlefield related YouTubers, and they already detailed that like Battlefield's got a few new maps coming, and Operation Metro from Battlefield 3 and I think also 4 is coming back in 5 as Operation Underground. So I already knew what Battlefield had come in. Obviously, as I said, I completely was out of the EA stream come FIFA and Madden because I don't care about soccer or football. Well, what you guys call football,
or over your side of the pond, football or other football.
Yeah. Football or American football?
Well, yeah, that's correct. But yeah.
The Sims 4 was something I took an interest in because, funny enough, the two life simulation games I like, Animal Crossing and The Sims 4, both share the same thing in common this time. They're both island related. Because you've got The Sims 4, which is having their own version of, like The Sims 2 Castaway Pack and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, when we get to Nintendo, you've got Animal Crossing New Horizons, and both are island-based. So that's actually kind of a good thing to see. Because, I mean, it's summer. The weather in the UK is often notoriously bad. So, hey, that's my summer getaway.
Well, it's just the thing is for Animal Crossing New Horizons, you have to wait till next year to get that getaway during the spring.
It's funny. It's the March 20th. That's literally Jeff's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and my dad's birthday.
Yeah, but here's the thing with Animal Crossing: I would rather have a delayed game.
Yeah, exactly.
And not have the staff crunch and working.
Yeah.
Looking at you, other game developers.
Which is a perfect segue to Shenmue because it's a perfect segue to the PC showcase. Since I don't think we have anything else about EA, right?
No,
right.
Not really.
So
Not
you
really.
guys saw the PC showcase, and
Yeah, we watched a little bit of it.
And I'll start with Metal. You guys, I'll start with Metal.
All right. The PC showcase did show off some good stuff. Obviously, the most notable of which was Shenmue 3.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention, that announcement that pissed off a lot of people. So
I think.
Oh yeah, are we talking about the sudden email that got sent out to everyone immediately after the PC Gamer Show, being like,
yeah,
we're an EGS exclusive now. It's like,
what? Yeah. What I find ironic is that people are just complaining on social media saying that they were promised Steam keys for it, but the thing that they got to remember is that in the Kickstarter there was not even any mention of Steam keys whatsoever. It just said a Windows physical copy key or a Windows digital copy key.
Yeah, so that easily meant, like, if we sign with Epic before the game's released, whether you like it or lump it, you're getting an EGS key or whichever platform has our game on it.
Mm-hmm. It's like they don't even read the fine print about PC games, because whenever they think that something's coming to PC, they are immediately thinking that it's going to come to Steam.
Oh yeah.
It is the largest platform.
So. Well, of course.
That's a fair assessment, but these days, with more and more places trying to get their own, like Epic Game Store is probably the best one, or what is it, the Blizzard, the whatever, the
Battle.net.
Yeah, like the what am I trying to think, like Origin or like stuff like that. Yeah, it's not necessarily going to be Steam anymore.
Mm-hmm. Besides, Steam's got to have some competition.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, talking of Shenmue. I don't know if Jerry knew about this, but some people got into the code of the original Shenmue, and there was actually a Shoryuken coded in there.
Interesting.
Came back at a good time.
Yeah, because I was looking on Twitter and they said, like, there's a Street Fighter move coded into the original Shenmue, and you see the clip, and you see Ryo. Is the Street Fighter Alpha 3 Metsu Shoryuken. So you see Ryo go straight into the stomach, and then Shoryuken.
Oh, wow. And there's some retards outside. I'm sorry, stream. Twitch banned, I guess. But there's some moron who just decided to turn in front of a truck and, like, yeah, he almost got hit by the truck. That's what you're hearing that. That's why you were hearing that.
Oh dear.
You should go outside and tell those people.
Garbage!
Every time, this town just nobody knows how to drive in this town.
Nope.
Anywho, let's go back to what Metal was saying. No, Visible Ninja.
Yeah, either one.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, for Shenmue, again, the game does look interesting. We did get a little bit of a look at some of the stuff, like a running quick time event kind of thing, as well, that leads into the story. But they've also since confirmed that this isn't going to be the finale, I guess you could say, of Ryo's story.
Yeah,
so
Yu Suzuki said like it would cover like up to 40% of the overall story after completing Shenmue 3.
Yeah, so they're definitely planning for Shenmue 4. So hopefully after this debacle, it still sells well enough. But yeah, it's all kinds of crazy. Other than that, we did see some pretty solid stuff. Some smaller indie stuff, and of course, pimping of ray tracing and such, because it's the future.
Of course, we need to make everything look shiny with reflections and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just doesn't seem like there was that much in the PC showcase, except for what you said.
Not terribly much. Like I said, for at least us, I guess the big thing was obviously Shenmue. I mean, we did get to see
Star Child,
yo. We did get to see some good stuff like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which actually didn't look that bad. We got to see Chivalry 2. So, sorry.
I was more surprised in seeing Zombie Army 4.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
When that trailer was on, I remember, because we didn't know what it was. I was like, it's a zombie game and whatnot. But as soon as the guy pulled the trigger on his sniper rifle and you had the X-ray go off, I was like, this is from the Sniper Elite, folks. Like, as soon as I knew it was that, I was more interested. And the best part, see, the thing is with the PC gaming show, was even though it was PC based, they still had trailers that said if it was coming out on consoles. So that's another reason why I jumped in and watched it as well, because even though my laptop can't run most of these games, chances are the trailer will have the word PS4 written on it or something like that, so I can be like, right, that's coming to the console as well. So I was hyped when I saw Zombie Army.
Same here. Yeah, that did look awesome. Some of the other ones that were notable to me was Conan Chop Chop, which was not the kind of Conan game I was expecting.
I know.
I saw that trailer and I was like, huh?
How did I describe it? I described it as Don't Starve meets Gauntlet, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay, but now you're selling me on the game.
Yeah, with the Conan IP over top of it.
Now I actually want to play this.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting. Another one I liked was actually Unexplored 2, which also looked pretty amazing. But obviously, like I said, the big one was obviously Shenmue for what we saw. So yeah,
and the kerfuffle around its PC version.
Yep.
Well, I'm playing PS4 version, so I don't. So but
And also, screw you to Joe Vargas for saying that Shenmue 3 was your worst of E3 2019.
Oh yeah. Ugh. Well, what does he know?
I know, right? And screw him for even putting in the games Contra Rogue Core and what was?
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Battletoads.
Contra Rogue Core. We'll get to that, but yeah, like people are just. Oh, I thought Contra was about the gameplay.
Yes, I think they're just really pissed off because of the trailer, how they represented it.
I guess.
But anyway, we'll get to that soon enough.
Yeah. Is there anything else in PC? Like, I didn't watch it, so what you guys said is basically what I I'm gonna have to go off.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I felt too. So I don't really have that much to comment on the PC gaming showcase, but
the only thing I can think of now is again since like I said, you could bring in info. We're talking about it in presentation order, but the information can be from now. But Shenmue kerfuffle because Epic Game Store exclusive, and they're trying to sue Deep Silver because they're saying they broke Kickstarter's terms of service or something like that.
But that doesn't make any sense though.
That's what they're saying. The people are mad.
Yeah, but they said, didn't we read something that the whole cause was actually Sony's fault for some odd reason? What Jeff posted in the Facebook chat?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. So, anyways, Epic took the PC version, and they should get Steam code still. I mean, I think that's what they're saying about Kickstarter's terms of service.
Yeah, but
we paid for Steam. So
when I was explaining to both Metal and Omega Mario, is that whenever they see something that's coming to PC, they immediately think that it's going to come to Steam right away. But you got to remember, in the Kickstarter, it only said for like the physical and digital keys for the Windows version of the game. They didn't exactly say Steam keys.
Yeah, as I said, they didn't exactly elaborate onto it. Like, you can essentially be any platform. It's just like,
see, I always see people they don't read.
Like honestly, that's one thing I'm annoyed with, because people do jump to conclusions, and the trouble is with this day and age, on PC you don't just have the one thing anymore, or you don't just go and buy a game, chuck a CD key in, and bam, job's done. You now have all these different stores as well. That all your games are going to come from one store eventually. So if honestly, this is to everyone. If people say in their thing a Windows version of the game, that doesn't mean it's going to be for the platform that's most notable. It can be for anything. Just so you all know.
All right, then I think I have someone to introduce. And that is yes. Say it again.
16-minute chef.
Hello, Jeff.
Hello, Jeffrey.
Hey, Laura.
Yeah, so we're just talking about the PC gaming showcase right now. We're just kind of not going in order.
No, it's just
we are going in order.
Oh, okay.
All you need, Double R, is next time for stuff like this. I used to do it. You need this SS Street Fighter 2. Here comes a new challenger music.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh yes. Or I should say,
Art, I don't want to alarm you, but
Capcom presents.
That works too.
I love that meme.
Thank you, Maximilian Dude, for coming up with that meme.
Yeah. You make it, we jank it.
Exactly.
That is that JR style. That's a good one. That's a good one, JR.
Something else about PC actually. So we're actually finished up here, since we were just talking about Omega Mario has brought up the good point that like the Kickstarter never did say it was for Steam for Shenmue. Like,
yeah, you guys saw what I sent you last night, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really disappointed at the Shenmue community, and I'm not trying to paint. I'm not painting all of them into the bad picture. Just the.
It's the same people who don't read when we get to Nintendo about Pokemon.
Oh, well, you mean like Angry Joe?
Yeah, we brought him up too.
Yeah, we did.
Good.
So PCs. So what was after? So, okay. Now for the stuff that we were all there for, because
okay.
After PC, it was
Microsoft.
Microsoft. Good. You came right in time, Jeff.
Perfect.
That was the one that not only were we there, but that's your bread and butter. So, Jeff, if you want the floor for now, you can be the first to go. And by the way, Jeff, even though we're talking, I said this earlier because you just brought in, so I'll reiterate. You can talk about we're talking about the press conferences. We're not just talking about the press conferences. I'm just talking about the companies in their press conference order. So you can bring up information that we found out later.
Okay, that works.
Into your thoughts about how Microsoft did and how each company did.
All right.
All right, so go ahead.
So like we're just talking about right now, the one we're talking about right now is Microsoft, the Xbox presser, and overall.
And how Microsoft did overall, yeah.
Overall, it was. I feel like since we all knew that this was going to be not a big one because obviously next year is going to be a start of a next generation console cycle. I thought it was like last year's. I thought it was good, not great, but good. You know what I mean? Basically a safe one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly, Microsoft are good at doing the safe conferences, and also the one thing I love about when Microsoft do these conferences is they now because obviously Phil Spencer and all that take the stage with it is now games.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit here and there, obviously, about stuff. There was some talk about the Xbox Game Pass and all that stuff, but they still quick shoot like announcements out, and that's the one thing I love when it comes to Microsoft and how they do their conferences.
Mm-hmm. No,
back to what you were saying, Jeff.
Like you, Jane, as the Xbox guy at this group, like it's nice to see how much they've turned around from the start of this generation to near the end of this console cycle. It's nice to see that they've actually learned from their mistakes from the launch of the Xbox One and what happened with that launch. Sadly, the announcements themselves, like game announcements, like especially what Phil said in regards to post their E3 presser saying that the spending is not done. It sounds like with the recently announced XO 2019 happening, funny enough, around your neck of the woods, Dane, in London this year. I wouldn't be surprised.
They've got an event now. I completely forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised, just like last year's event, they announced another acquisition like they did with last year's event. Now, granted, I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2, but I wouldn't be surprised because he did state that, the spending's not done, that they're actually going to be acquiring, developers still if it makes sense, finance. Yeah. Speaking of which, I was actually surprised the acquisition was of all people Double Fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just I want to ask you guys' opinion. How do you feel about that?
Took them long enough, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does seem like that Double Fine's, the group Double Fine Productions is actually a good fit for Microsoft's consoles, or platforms, in a sense. Because, ever since playing Psychonauts, and then playing some of their other games that came after that, they just felt like they were, true to their roots, and it just definitely seemed like Microsoft console like the Xbox One or even the Xbox One successor, Project Scarlet, seems like it's a perfect home for them for their games going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely makes me even more excited for Psychonauts 2 when that releases. But it's not only that, but it makes me even think of the potential of what Microsoft could have them do next after that game.
I was about to bring it up, Kyle, because either us getting finally a Brewer Legend 2, or even better, a collab with
Rare?
A collaboration with Rare, for a new Conquer game.
Hey, that I mean, with Tim Schafer, he does seem like he would be a good hand to work on something like that.
And if I recall correctly, Major Nelson, when they were doing their Xbox Game Studios 1 year later panel after the briefing. It was either that same day or the day after.
Mm-hmm.
He did state that all the acquired IP, all the acquired new studios not only can work with one another, unlike back in the day and even recently, but they can also work in all the IP that they have in their vault. So yeah, like it is possible to see Double Fine actually working on a Conquer game and with Rare on that one, which I do like to see. I've had a new Banjo game. Either one would work perfectly with Double Fine.
Now, in some of their game announcements, like I would say Gears 5 still looks great, and even the new trailer for Halo Infinite looks phenomenal, but seeing some of those ones that are brought out by third parties like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and Tales of Arise, those two really took me by surprise. Like, I was kind of skeptical whether or not they would show something in relation to a Tales game at a Microsoft presser or, at E3 this year, because they usually save their big announcements for whatever they have new that's coming out for either their Tales of Festival or at least Tokyo Game Show. But for them to announce the new Tales of Arise at Microsoft's presser, that was quite unprecedented, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even was taken back because I kind of thought the same as you, Double R. I was sitting there because at first we didn't know what game it was, and as I said on the PC game show stream, I said, "Oh, I bet you this is Tales," and we had Bad Gamer with us, and he was like, "No, it's not." And then as soon as the title come up saying Tales of Arise, I went, now what have you got to say to me? I want a 50-word apology. F you. Like, okay then.
Okay, we love you too, buddy.
Sounds about right. That definitely sounds like
my
the
thing with
HXA MMO at its finest.
You mentioned Tales of and Kakarot, and there was also the big one for me, because Tales was also big, but for me personally, the big one, Phantasy Star Online too.
I know.
Yes.
Okay, about that, there's still no news about Europe yet, because there is no info about the Europe getting PSO, but tweets have come out today. Sorry to cut you off, Jerry.
No, sorry.
Tweets have been coming out today that it's not going to just be Xbox One exclusive. It's a timed exclusive.
Didn't I say that in the stream?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Well, on the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I weren't listening because obviously I was doing my own end.
So I know Jeff was, because I was right next to him. I remember telling that I may not have said it out loud. I may have said it to Jeff, like in his ear.
That's why I was confirming, because I know you said.
I do remember saying that. I was like, this is a time exclusive.
Yeah, Phil Spencer actually confirmed it. He actually confirmed it, saying it is going to be timed.
Well, that's good. It's not only a good thing he confirmed it, but also it's nice to see that it is a timed exclusive, so the others who don't have either an Xbox or a PC have a chance to play the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Bringing that up, and the reason I brought up that along with Tales of and what was the other game?
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Yeah, Kakarot. It's good to see Microsoft say, look, we may not have a big fan base in Japan, but that doesn't mean we can't take Japanese games, because people in the West still play them.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And maybe, who knows, Japanese people will actually warm up to Xbox now.
They probably will.
Possibly.
But
even still, there's still a market for those games on the Xbox, and now they finally realize it, and I'm glad.
Jerry, you took the words out of my mouth because I was about to say that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is the first chance in a very long time, to the point since the original Xbox came out, which was how long ago now? Almost 20 years ago now?
2001?
Yeah.
Almost close enough, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nearly 20 years.
This might be the first chance in a very long time that Microsoft has a good chance in Japan. Now, granted, we can't say, obviously, but they have a good chance with what the changes they've been doing and, the bridges that, Xbox is trying to rebuild over in Japan by the, yearly trips that Phil has been having ever since his promotion, which I think was around 2015, 2016, correct, guys?
I think so.
He's been in charge for a good couple of years now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was 2015 because it was kind of a slow but rocky start when it came to their 2016 presser before they hit off big in 2017.
I remember him being out in 2015 for Dragon Ball Z Fighters, and for the Xbox One backwards compatibility, and we were like, oh!
Yep.
And I could have sworn I thought that was later, but it was 2015, and
I know.
It was Phil saying that. I'm like, oh, well, all right. My timeline is off.
Yeah, you're not the only one, dude. Trust me.
And also,
so anything, yeah.
I was gonna say, it also seemed like Microsoft had a more heavier emphasis on like survival horror type games. I mean, especially with that new Blair Witch game that was showcased.
We were like Silent Hill, Silent. Oh,
which I found out later during a panel. It was actually the guys who who created Layers of Fear.
Oh no! Oh no! I'm saying oh no because of how Layers of Fear 2's turned out.
Oh really? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing. Layers of Fear 2 apparently is a pile of garbage.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
not good.
No. And also there was that one game where it looks like you can control both the past, the present, and the future. Whatever it was, that one guy and his wife, they had like different scenes happening.
Oh yeah, was it 12 minutes or 11 minutes or something like that?
Oh yeah, that in from Annapurna
or 17 minutes or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 12 minutes. That time loop game. I haven't. Oh, what's that?
Oh, there's the cops coming for.
Gosh.
I'm trying to remember what that. There was a movie starring Jake Gyllenhaal on a train.
Oh, Source Code?
That's the one. And that was time loop based, weren't it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I seriously love stuff like that involves time loops. So I'm interested in 12 minutes. Talking to stuff I'm interested in when it comes to time loops, I'm not interested in that horror movie that was also did the same thing. I can't remember what it's called.
Happy Death Day.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
The one with 50 Cent? Yeah, Death Day.
The one time loop movie I really enjoyed was Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah,
that was a good one.
All you need is what?
Yeah,
kill.
I've not seen that movie.
Because the manga, all you need is.
Oh yeah,
kill.
because it's based on a Japanese novel. Yeah.
Oh.
Called All You Need Is Kill.
Mm-hmm.
See, the only funniest thing about Source Code, I can remember, because just thinking about plot wise, is Call of Duty Black Ops 3 when you have the guy go train goes boom.
Oh yeah.
Ah yes.
Speaking of, it's already about 4, and there's some. I want to get to Call of Duty and Nintendo, but Metal and Double R. All right, Jeff, is there any final things? I want to hit it to myself and then Metal.
Yeah, not really. Like overall, they had another good showing like last year's, but I think the following year, 2020, is going to be an even better one because obviously,
yeah, definitely,
next gen console cycle for them, the start of it, and shout out new consoles and more importantly new games for said new consoles. So I still stand by what I said. I still think they had a great showing, but I think next year's going to be even better.
All right,
I definitely agree.
Yeah. As for me, I'm glad that Microsoft is showing that they realize they can bring in the audience. Matter of fact, part of me is wondering they realize that Sony spurned some of their audience who plays these Japanese games. They're like, hey, we're not doing any of that crap. Come to us. Hey, are you mad that Sony censored your game? We won't. Come here.
Oh, you mean like Nintendo?
Yeah, come here.
And Nintendo's doing that super good because
but
I've already decided on getting a Switch when I can.
I was, there was one other thing I was going to say. But guys, there's one other game we forgot to mention about Microsoft's presser. Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh yeah,
you're breathtaking. No, you're breathtaking.
Cyberpunk
with John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves.
So basically, like Jeff, I thought it was a good showing. I'm glad that unlike Sony where they're like, we got nothing. Microsoft's like, we could. It's like we know we're probably going to be stronger next year, but we probably could still whip something good, right, guys? Yeah, I think so, and they did.
Yeah, they basically said we have something.
So they went out, they did what they did, and from what I'm hearing about the games they showed and later on and stuff, like it's all solid. So there you go. And Phantasy Star Online, I'm hyped for getting it whenever, be it on Xbox or PC or PS4.
Is it a no surprise to anyone that I'm actually interested in Age of Empires 2?
No, that looks like Age of Empires 2 definitive. Yeah, that actually looks really good. Like I'm
That's
looking forward
right.
to it too. Yeah.
I sat there and I was like, this is the year of nostalgia, because you've got what, Age of Empires 2, what, World of Warcraft Classic in about 2 months.
Yes.
And you've got Modern Warfare. And I can't think what else is also getting remade.
Trials of Mana.
Oh yeah, Trials of Mana. I can't think of what else. I'm sure there's some
Link's
other
Awakening.
games. Oh yeah, Link's Awakening.
Yeah, but we'll go into that later.
We'll go into that. I can't think of what else.
So, me and Jeff said so. Visible.
Oh yeah, Medieval come out this year as well.
Yes.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, amen.
Visible. What'd you think about Xbox?
Okay, Xbox, like I personally think was pretty damn good. I know a lot of people kind of thought it was boring because they didn't show off any massive, smash surprises. But I thought what they show off was extremely solid. Like I said, I'm looking forward to Age of Empires 2 Definitive because I came this close to getting Age of Empires 2 HD, but I'm kind of glad I held off now. So yeah, not to mention the Blair Witch game honestly looks very interesting because, like you said, we figured it was possibly a new it was either Silent Hill or maybe Resident Evil 8.
Yeah,
ain't
like yeah.
But it turns out no, it's a Blair Witch game. So
because people were asking for that.
I know, but it did kind of look like
good.
that.
Yeah.
I wonder with that game. I wonder how many times you're going to have camera close-ups of the characters' faces, just speaking in monologue.
It definitely seems like it's trying to do the whole found footage thing that the first movie did, aka the good one, not the shit sequel that tried to get meta and shit. So
guys, it's funny we're talking about Microsoft's E3 right now because I just found something very interesting.
Okay.
And also, I just realized retro game I was forgetting it was Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Oh yeah, that too. I bet we're gonna see more of that and hopefully an announcement of a release at this year's BlizzCon. Hopefully, but yeah, you guys remember the announcement of GOG Galaxy 2.0 early in the year?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
According to a German magazine called GameStar, it's been officially confirmed that Microsoft is officially integrating their games and PC Game Pass into Galaxy 2.0.
Hey, nice.
Oh wow.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Remember,
I'm going to ask a very serious question. Do you think that Xbox are more or less now completely changed to what they are, and they just make consoles for the fun of it? Because
or so.
Because nowadays they're putting they're putting games on Nintendo. And apparently there was a news story out that they were going to originally try and get Halo Master Chief Collection onto PlayStation.
I saw that, yeah.
I'm starting to think that Xbox are more opening up to just being software and whatnot instead of consoles. I'm not too sure.
I do agree with that. Because of their big push into PC with, Game Pass for PC and Game Pass Ultimate. So I definitely do see that, even though, like I said, Phil Spencer did reiterate that the console is still kind of at the core of what they're doing, but they are obviously starting to reach out a bit more.
Yeah,
I guess you could say they see the way things are going, so they're starting to move that way, but they're not going all in just yet.
Now, the sad thing I have to bring up, certain fanboys of a certain consoles are going to say, oh, that's on Microsoft's fault. That's not the direction that gaming's going to go with, their pieces of plastic. I hate to break it to them. That is the future of the industry.
It
and
is.
of their respective consoles.
Yeah.
Consoles are going the way of the dinosaur now. Since
In due time, what Microsoft is doing with, focusing more on software, the same things are eventually going to be happening with PlayStation. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the start of it to PlayStation 5, in all honesty, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. But other than that, from Microsoft, other than the Game Pass for PC stuff, which does look pretty cool, I liked that they're incorporating Lego into Forza Horizon, which was kind of goofy but kind of awesome. Because why not? It just looks kind of great. Halo Infinite looks good and especially since it's going to be a launch for whatever Xbox 2 or
Project Scarlet.
Whatever it winds up being called.
Mm.
And it probably was, and I think it was a smart move to probably make that either a cross-gen or just make it just a launch title for the Scarlet to whatever, which I think is probably a good call at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, their continued push to get the Master Chief Collection on PC is awesome. So, yeah. I thought Microsoft did a good job. Like I said, I know a lot of other people thought it was very boring with no huge, massive announcements, but all the other announcements we got were pretty good. Plus, Cyberpunk does look good. Some of the people who have played it said it's not the combat is a bit clunky and such, but there's time before it comes out, so I'm not greatly worried. So, yeah, that's what I think of Micro.
Okay.
I guess Double R and Dane, just what's your final thoughts so we can move on to?
Yes. Overall,
Bethesda.
Yeah, before we get to the crap show that's Bethesda. But anyways, I would say that Microsoft did have a good showing, although I felt that it wasn't that strong of a presentation as 2017 and 2018's E3 presentations were, because I definitely do feel like all of us do agree that we do feel that this is the twilight of their current console generation before they step up into next gen for next year. And but it's good to know that they do have games that are coming out for it, and they did show off new games and all to let people know, hey, we still have stuff that's coming out for not only, for Project Scarlet, but we still have games coming out for our current console at this time. And but all in all, it was a good showing. But like I said, may not be the best, but still had some pretty good surprises here and there that was sprinkled throughout. So yeah, it was good.
I'm in agreement. Just so we can move on to the other stuff, I'm basically in the same boat. There was some interesting stuff from Xbox, and we just have to wait and see to see what comes, because obviously, this is roughly the last E3 before the next. The second to last E3 before the next Microsoft system. So,
yeah.
Well, all right. Let's get. Oh, by the way, Star Child has some points. Sorry. Yeah, Star Child was talking about when we talked about the Xbox, not just being more software focused. And he said, yeah, they seem more open to branch out, which is good, I believe. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, yeah, the new Halo game actually usually looks good when they release, and yeah, they usually do. And there we go. So Bethesda.
Oh boy.
Let me before we start, ear rape warning. This is Bethesda in a nutshell. So yeah, NPCs.
I'm allowed to partly sit out of this one because I did not want to screw up my sleep pattern for this.
Oh, you didn't miss much.
Of a company.
Trust me.
It's also coming. It's also coming out on mobile. Yeah.
So I told you guys, Jeff. Remember I told you I kept saying while we were doing that. Remember during the stream I kept saying to you, Jeff, these got to be shills. He's got to be paid.
Turns out it most likely were.
Mm-hmm. Turns out it was employees in the front with extra mics. Yep.
Yeah, but
Fallout
funny
76
enough,
is going to get NPCs. Yeah.
yeah, but funny enough, and I'm sorry, I'm usually one of these people who do this publicly, but I need to call out certain freaking angry YouTuber by the name of Angry Joe, saying that both that as well as Commander Keen's reveal are both respectively 4 and 2 in his worst games and / announcements at E3, and his top one being Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, when you have literal shills inside your auditorium cheering for crap that should have been in the game, that a lot of people wasted last year, ranging from 60 to I think at worst 120 for that crap collector's edition that they released.
Yeah. Oh, the collector's edition.
You're talking
Yeah.
about the canvas
You know
bag,
the one that came with the
still
bag?
haven't got them.
Yep.
And they still haven't gotten him, and most likely won't get him until next month. And you're saying that is not as bad compared to what freaking supposedly I think they with Shenmue 3?
Shenmue 3 is
Kinda
Epic Games Source exclusive. Oh, but
I think
the
Joe needs to
consumers
shit
getting
and spit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Consumers getting messed over. Oh,
and
that's
honestly,
that's
there's a
not as
lot
bad.
worse I want to say about him,
Right.
but I'm just
We're on
trying to be
Twitch.
nice for our sake. And I mean, I could care about his, to be bluntly honest.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Harry, but continue.
Oh yeah, so my thoughts, since I was the one hosting this and since I had a lot invested. God.
Piss and vinegar, actually. Yeah, I know the feeling.
Mobile, and I play mobile games.
Mm-hmm.
You know this. I play the good ones, Land Gracer, Star Ocean,
Mm-hmm.
But when you're known for making, I don't know, just like with Blizzard, it isn't that we hate mobile games. It's that when you're known for making PC games and all that are player versus PvE at best, single player experiences, it's kind of a kick in the nuts to see, you're just talking about mobile games and about, Battle Royale and stuff like that. When I think of Fallout, I think of Battle Royale. And Elder Scrolls Online, they didn't show anything about that pack. They just showed a cutscene, and for Elder Scrolls 6, they showed a big fat nada.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said I know, because I thought I dropped for a second. I'm so used to being cut off that, like, people just listening to me, I'm like, what? That's a weird feeling. I don't like it.
Guys, guess you want to know what they showed for Elder Scrolls 6 at Bethesda's E3 presser? Absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, and then finding out more about Commander Keen and about this what's funny is Elder Scrolls Online is actually kind of good now.
Yeah, it is. That's the sad thing. It is a good game.
ESO has come a long way since it launched.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the thing is that it's a buy to play MMO, and it's actually doing rather well, which I'm genuinely surprised about.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I was kind of sad that they just showed a CG trailer.
Because you've got so many MMOs on the market. Like, obviously, two of the other notable buy-to-play ones are both Guild Wars 2 and Black Desert Online.
Okay.
So to know that ESO is managing to still bring in numbers, still have some really decent expansions and everything is genuinely good praise to be had. And then obviously you've got the two big subscription MMOs, which are WoW and Final Fantasy XIV.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to still hold up very well in the market, there's got to be props to be had.
Right, of course.
But yeah, seeing it just was like a CG trailer wasn't very reassuring. They could have had more bigger fanfare for elsewhere, but
That was my only thing. Like, the one thing I thought was actually a good game, and it just had a CG trailer. Like,
I know.
And that's the Bethesda was just a big old. So, you guys can have the floor with your thoughts, and then we can go on to
Ubisoft.
Oh wait, no, it's Ubisoft after that, which
which was better.
I just remembered that Doom Eternal is
That's right, the other good game. Sorry.
Yeah,
me.
Yeah.
How could I forget Doom Eternal? I apologize. That was the actual
It's
good
cool,
game.
man.
Doom, I know some people will probably want to rip my head off for how dare you forget Doom Eternal.
I watched the footage of that back of Doom Eternal, and I mean, I loved Doom 2016. Mostly because I just loved how, unlike Doom 3, it did a load of things Doom related. Right, it was basically an FPS done well with all the speed of like Quake and Unreal Tournament, but it was as if they did combine it with the Brutal Doom mod. Like, honestly, if I play old school Doom, I have to play it with Brutal Doom. I can't play it vanilla anymore. So Doom 2016 was great. Doom Eternal is just racked that up to 11, and the best part is this is why I'm seriously hyped for this.
Okay.
Panic Button are co-developing it at the same time as id Software. So
The
Switch version.
The Switch version, the original, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Switch version is coming out at the same time as the actual main console versions.
Oh, nice.
Coming out at around the same time as PC, PS4, and Xbox. So I know that Panic Button are gods when it comes to porting.
No kidding.
So I can't wait to hear how Doom Eternal
So the Switch version should be real good. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Wolfenstein Youngblood as well.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
That looked okay, yeah.
There's two big legacy franchises I can't wait to see their new versions of.
It's funny bringing up, guys, that, you know, besides that game being announced, the only other good game that was announced that Bethesda's showing was that new one from Tango was.
Yes,
Ghostwire?
Tripwire or Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ghostwire Tokyo, yeah. That one looks pretty good.
With the lovely lady who worked on the likes of Akami and
Bayonetta.
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 Yep.
People are like, don't nude her, and I'm like, but isn't she Bayonetta?
That's I think we all agree. We just call her Kojima on stage because she looks like a female Hideo Kojima.
Don't worry, Jerry. Akumi Nakamura was like looted within like 20 minutes of her being on
people
stage.
Like, don't loot her, and I'm like, I get where you're coming from, but
Too late.
It's the internet. B, isn't Bayonetta technically her?
Yeah.
And C,
she's already been looted.
And C, and I think all of us agree. If we can do this to a fake character, like say like a Nintendo waifu, all bets are off.
I was going to say, isn't she part of the holy trinity of E3 this year? Because you got Keanu Reeves, Nakamura,
and John Berthol's dog.
John Berthol's dog, which we'll
Berthol's
get to in a minute.
I've seen some people give, President Bowser instead of the dog, but yeah.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Doug Bowser. Yeah, we'll get to him in a minute.
Yeah.
So, is there any final thoughts on Bethesda since it's a?
Yeah, I want to give my 2 cents.
It's fine. They were crap. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's me too.
Anyway, let me go ahead and give my final thoughts. But yeah, when it came to Bethesda's E3 presser, the only thing I cared about mostly was Doom Eternal. But for everything else, it was just updates to games that we already knew or ones that are already released, and it's like E3 is about brand new stuff, not like stuff for games that are already out or long been out since then. I mean, I guess stuff for like expansions for Elder Scrolls Online is fine, but when it comes to like full-fledged games, it's like, come on, Bethesda. And not
cut you off. Did they say anything about because obviously Star Child's in the chat? Did they say anything about their game of that? The one they're doing alongside Elder Scrolls 6.
Starfield.
Starfield. No, they didn't.
Not a thing. Which
that at all.
I was hoping to hear about that because I was actually interested, but nope.
And not to mention too, it's just that anything with what anybody said on stage, you just saw the developers or whoever on the front two ends just shilling out to them and just clapping loudly and just applauding. It's like, no,
They just clear my throat. Yeah!
It's just like, I'm at this point where Bethesda should not even be allowed to have a presser if this is the crap that they're going to do from now on.
Pulling antics like that.
Mm.
Because
sorry, no, we don't allow antics like that. That's messed
no, when you pull off antics like that, shouldn't that be like a breach of integrity or something towards
something
your
like that, yeah.
like your breach of appearance to E3? It's like, no, you shouldn't even have an E3 like that if that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I know, right? Either be right or do it direct.
Yeah, or just like do a live stream that gives updates on those existing products. Don't just be in front of everybody and just have them just shilling out to you or just doing things that are very questionable or just praising Todd Coward for anything that he says out of his mouth. Because
so you're saying like that weird presser they did 2 years ago?
Yep.
Where it was nothing but a video?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do that.
What was it, Bethesda Land or whatever?
Yes,
right?
it was that one. Yes.
It's instead of wasting people's venues for shills.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But
any other final thoughts before we go to Ubisoft?
No, that's it on my end. Bethesda was a shit show, and I am not looking forward to covering them in the future, or not going to have any favorable things to say to them in the future unless if they change, which they're not most likely not going to.
And don't forget, guys, Elder Scrolls Blades is now on Nintendo Switch.
Oh
yeah, that's right.
Don't remind me.
Remind me. I mean, I'm happy for Doom Eternal and Wolfenstein New Blood or Young Blood that's coming on the Switch, but who in the world asked for Elder Scrolls Blades to appear on there?
Yeah, but like I say, let's not forget the unfortunate thing that is we're looking forward to games that were previously not under the Bethesda banner, i.e. id Software stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. The highlights of Bethesda were everything not Bethesda developed.
So the usual.
Yep.
Yeah. So I normally say this point in my streams, but like I've said before that you can't punish other companies for what your parent company did.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
I'll still buy both.
That's the case with Bethesda.
Ghostwire, if it turns out to be good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else before we go to Ubisoft?
Nope, I'm good.
All right.
We're good.
By the way, Honkai Impact should be on the Switch, not Blades.
Metal, did you have any final thoughts? I know we didn't get to you yet.
Yeah.
Not really. Based on what I said, I'm only really looking forward to Doom Eternal and Young Blood, possibly Ghostwire. Other than that, it was just a shit show. So yeah,
Yep. All right. So Ubisoft. Now, usually I saw some people before a little preface for Ubisoft. Better than Bethesda by a mile.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
So you already know that part, but we're gonna get into it, of course, a little more in depth. But I saw people saying that Ubisoft was boring. I don't like Just Dance, and I'm like, but they actually showed some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I will give anyone 200 internet points if you guys know what game I'm laughing about.
That weird mobile game that they announced with the characters.
Think about my nationality, Jeff.
Oh, Watch Dogs Legion.
Watch Dogs Legion.
Watch Dogs, yeah.
Which I actually liked seeing.
Which has a 78-year-old elderly lady kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, you could.
Were you watching us when we streamed that?
Yeah, I was. You could take people down as an OAP for crying out loud.
Because I told people that game is it's instead of Watch Dogs, it's just you what make the game.
Yeah.
You what, mate? Yeah.
What, mate?
Oh, don't. I looked on Twitter. One of the most notable soaps in the UK is EastEnders, and there was a scene in Watch Dogs Legion where the guy was like, so what about this guy? And the girl goes, I'm sorry, you didn't make it. So you had him turn to the bar, and at the end of EastEnders, it always goes, dun, 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 dun. And they did that with the Watch Dogs Legion thing, and it just made me crack up laughing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh god.
like I say, with Watch Dogs Legion, it cracked me up to know that you can control an old age pensioner and take people out. And the most funniest thing, and I don't know whether Ubisoft intended this, but you know when you see one of the shots of the RAP taking someone out, it has the sign "London deserves better," and that just cracked me up. I was like seeing an OAP beating someone down to the ground with that sign. I was like, okay.
What really surprised me about Watch Dogs Legion is that that's in putting in permadeath option.
Yeah. Fire Emblem cross Watch Dogs. Let's go.
Or Zombie U.
Oh, talking to zombies, that Rainbow Six one, that was interesting.
Yeah, we all thought it was a reveal for Zombie 2.
We did, yeah, which is because, like we said, it's basically just Left 4 Dead, but with one less person and with the Rainbow Six kind of flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which could be interesting, but yeah, I don't know what else to think about it.
Starchild said, "Did Ubisoft announce anything other than Assassin's Creed?" They didn't really have it.
No, they didn't have an Assassin's Creed game.
No, because they were very publicly taking the year off from doing an Assassin's Creed.
Which is
this is second.
Good.
This is the second time they did that for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. They're like, you know what? We're just gonna let it sit for a year, and hopefully it'll be better. And it probably will be. So.
Probably.
Oh yeah, most likely it will.
Can't think of what else I'm interested in terms of Ubisoft.
They have the new Ghost Recon game that's coming out.
Yeah, Breakpoint
with John Bernthal.
Yes.
And Good Boy. I don't know the dog's name.
and the best boy, yeah.
Yes.
I do have to say one thing regarding Microsoft and Ubisoft's showing and how they have, brought in some of these that want to be in their game. Hey, Kojima, here's a hint. That's how you get into the industry. I'm sorry to say that, but I'm not interested in freaking Death Stranding. I could care less for that game.
Oh, why? Yeah, I saw. I wasn't interested.
Doesn't Death Stranding have like Mads Mikkelsen, Norman Reedus, and?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even when you have those big name of stars in a game like that, every time I see something about them talking about the game, compared to Keanu and how John Bernthal were excited to be a part of their respective games, those two, A, didn't even know what the hell they were doing, and B, were interested in all hell about the game that they were starring in. You know what I mean? From what I've seen from interviews, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they still don't know what Death Stranding really is.
Nobody knows what it is.
Which is bad marketing.
Yeah.
Which is very bad marketing, so you just a hit because is this supposed to be coming out later this year?
Yep.
Supposed to be.
But yeah, getting back to Ubisoft, the games that they showed this year, it was a little lackluster, but it was still a stronger showing than say Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It weren't anything like, oh my god, but it still was good,
Like I'm really intrigued at that Rainbow Six inspired Left 4 Dead game that's coming out next year. I think it was called Rainbow Six Infection or something like that.
Yeah.
Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Quarantine. Thank you, Dane. Yeah, but that looks really interesting. The one that really sold me on Ubisoft's presser this year, the announcement of Ubi Play Plus, their new subscription service starting September.
No.
Really?
As soon as I saw that, my interest instantly turned off. I don't know about anyone here, but personally, I am sick of all these subscription models.
Fair enough.
Starchild said that's shocking, but it wasn't to that. It was to what Jeff was talking about.
It was to Assassin's Creed not being there again. Yeah. I'm sick of all of these subscription models for like EA, Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft, because you think about it, you're already paying in terms of consoles. You're already paying for their online service.
Yep.
Then if you want to go with Xbox, you'll then be paying, because obviously now you can get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
That's fast.
you can get that, and then obviously you'd have a big sum of money for that, and then you've got obviously PC. You don't have to pay for online, but you can. Then you've got like Origin Access Premium, and then now Uplay Plus. Not to mention if you're also subbed to say an MMO. It's just you have like so much money coming out of all these different corners. Why now are companies doing this with games and being like, oh, you can pay this much per month, get all these games, and you're basically just chucking out more money into the out of your pockets.
Well, then you just said it was because of money.
Well, yeah, but
but I know what he means. Same thing with streaming services for TV and movies. Mm-hmm. You had Netflix. Now you got Netflix, DC, Disney, Hulu, all these other, and they're not all like you get Verve. Yeah, you got to pay for all these different subscriptions to get. So it's almost costing the same as a regular cable thing, and people are like, I thought I was cutting the cord.
Yeah, you thought you were saving money, but you really just started spending just as much as you were with a regular cable bill. But I mean, for someone like me, and I can completely understand where
I'm just like, I'll just get whatever Stadia or Apple's doing.
Yeah, like
I have to.
Exactly. Like that's why I like what Xbox is doing, because I feel like they're doing the same motion as Google and Apple are, respectfully, because they are a manufacturer. Whereas with Ubisoft, I'm interested because I do like Ubisoft games, where I am not the biggest fan of EA games. Like, why would I go with EA Origin when I'm really not the biggest fan of the games like I used to, compared to how I used to years ago when they were still doing games like, a proper Dragon Age, a proper Mass Effect, like making actual games and not, games as a service, plain and simple. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Talking of games as a service, I tell you the only one thing I can actually give Ubisoft credit for, and that is if you do the Uplay Plus thing, they give you the gold or ultimate edition of the game instead of the bog standard one that EA does. I can give Ubisoft credit on that one.
Yeah. And if I
is there anything else on Ubisoft? Because I realized we were going on a tangent.
The last thing that they ended off with that new IP, Gods and Monsters.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Which looks like it's heavily inspired by Zelda, which is cool. It's just a shame we didn't get to see a lot of it. And I feel like this is for next year, which again is fine because it is the start of a new generation, like we've all stated.
Yeah, and even though I was sad that we didn't even see any more news about Beyond Good and Evil 2, but they're probably saving that for next year.
Yeah. I mean, let's be blunt, guys. That's a mid-next-gen game.
I just remembered about that. You remind me of, since we left Bethesda, but you reminded me of what Todd Howard said about Elder Scrolls 6. Mm-hmm. That he was like, I want it to be... But they didn't show Elder Scrolls 6, but they did comment on it. So I'm like, And same thing with Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah.
I'm still skeptical about Elder Scrolls 6, especially if they use creation.
We all? Yeah. Oh my god. Switch to another engine.
They have to, and I hope to God they do. Look,
I mean, Obsidian's already proving them that Unreal Engine can do, you know, a Fallout game well. So, seriously, Bethesda, don't use creation.
Let's be real. Like, if COD Modern Warfare is finally using a new engine, then the boys over at Bethesda can do the same with Elder Scrolls.
They need to.
They have to, yeah.
Let's move on to whatever company they need to now, unless someone's.
So Ubisoft was okay.
Yeah, they were okay. I would say they weren't as good as Microsoft, but they were still okay nevertheless.
Yeah, they weren't bad though. So next up,
they were the better ones, but let's continue.
Next one up was
Square Enix.
Oh, it was Square Enix. Okay.
Yes. So we're going in.
Square Enix with this is where the happy time started.
Yeah.
Yes.
Square Enix and Nintendo. So before we go Square, I want to mention about Square. I brought it up to Facebook, but none of you commented. I know you saw it though. But their community manager, at least for the mobile games, who was super nice, they let go their community manager. And their community manager apparently had a good rep. very good rep.
Huh.
Was actually a good PR person, so I have no idea why she was let go.
I'm extremely confused.
Especially so it's like all this good news, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're gonna fire our community manager who was actually really loved.
Yeah, I don't know
whatever So that was the only like negative, which isn't even like E3 itself, but it is part of what it happened during E3, and it was with them. So I wanted to bring that up. Like that was like the only negative thing I could think of.
Right, and that literally is the only negative thing.
And because it's so weird. Like, why would you fire somebody who has a good? Who's doing okay?
And why the mobile games are actually doing pretty good as of recent.
Yeah, She was the Star Ocean and Brave Exvius community person, and I'm like, yeah, those games are A, good, and B, she was doing a good job. So I have no idea. Anyways, Dane and Double R, you know what I got hyped over.
Yeah.
I want you guys to break it down for me, and Visible, of course. The rest of you, I'm just singling out Dane and Double R. So you guys
Let me guess. Tifa making a Final Fantasy VII Remake appearance.
Oh,
well, that's close, but it's something that
Final Fantasy VIII getting a remaster, which was something I awoke to and absolutely had to pinch myself to know I'm not dreaming.
Did you see my reaction on YouTube?
Sephiroth's a what?
Sephiroth is a bitch.
No, seriously, when I woke up and scrolled through YouTube and saw Final Fantasy VIII remastered, I pinched myself so hard I actually made the top of my arm red.
Oh,
I woke up and was like, Final Fantasy VIII coming to the Switch, remastered. What is this world?
Yeah,
that was just one part of it. So
here are three ways to summarize Final Fantasy VIII remastered with our reaction. Metal, calm down.
I'm not saying a goddamn thing.
Burnout. Sephiroth is a bitch. There you go.
That entire suit was beautiful.
That's pretty much our new whole thing. That's pretty much our same type of joy and glee we get out of that with a certain somebody who we talk to on Discord from time to time.
Yeah.
But anyways, but yeah, Square Enix, I would have to say they started off really strong with Final Fantasy VII Remake with how they presented it. Because Final Fantasy VII Remake has been we all agree that it's been something that a lot of people in the general public have been looking forward to for a very, very long time, since it was the last update we ever got for it was, of course, PSX 2015, and then of course we had the teaser from last month, and then that short teaser the night before, but then we just got that huge media blowout about how the game plays and what the new trailer is like and what the entirety of the first part is going to cover, which I had a speculation that's what it was going to cover, and that was the entirety of the Midgar segment of the original Final Fantasy VII, but as its own game in a sense. And but yeah, it just seems like everything that they're going for with this game, it doesn't. I always said this about remakes. If it's going to be a remake, I rather it not just be just a fresh coat of paint. I want to see some new things added to it to make the experience a lot more fun and exciting. And
I agree with that. Yeah, like it shouldn't just be a shot for shot, like to use a movie term.
Yeah,
shot for shot remake.
And what they're doing with Final Fantasy VII Remake is not necessarily. I would say it's not just necessarily a remake, but also what other journalists have been kind of describing it as, more as a reinvention of the game.
It's more of a reimagining, and they're opening up the world's lore a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously with the PS1 game, they had to get a load of it done and all this stuff, and it feels that there's some gaps that you'd want to know lore-wise. But because obviously memory constraints of the PS1 discs and how big their FMVs were, they couldn't do a lot.
Yeah.
But because of the technology we got nowadays, that's a breeze. Like even if they have to split Final Fantasy VII into so many games, because even one of I think even the director, he said he didn't know how many discs or how many games 7's going to cover.
That was actually the producer, Yoshinori Kitase, who was the OG director on Final Fantasy VII back in the day.
No lie, that does not make me feel good, to be honest.
That is so, I'm like, oh boy, how
it's like, how can you not know?
So how much are we spending for this? But the collector's edition for that thing was announced.
The collector's edition's
$300
very pricey.
$300, 320 or something like that.
Yeah, to be fair, I'd rather buy four Final Fantasy VII. You know, depending if they actually do 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was getting.
Yeah,
at.
and
I'd rather buy all 4 of them.
For that money, yeah.
And I was gonna say, if they wanted to keep the number down to a minimum with how they want to present the remake, then if they were going to go for a world map feature, then I'd say at least go for that world map feature that they did in Final Fantasy Type 0.
Yeah.
Because I'd say that would actually be the most logical route to take. Instead of just making everything... Instead of just trying to do something like what they did with Final Fantasy 15's open world.
Type 0 is about the right way to do. Yeah.
Yes.
Like it's not, which I still need to beat because I unfortunately bought. I bought a disc. I bought it. My dad beat it. I'm gonna be. Oh, we got. Oh, well, traded in.
Never mind.
Okay, I bought another game. This disc doesn't work.
What?
Yep. That's come. I never got to beat it. I bought it again, cheap, but the disc was defective.
Dang, that stinks.
Yep.
But anyways, not to go any further, but we just want to make to let you all know that it's coming out March 3rd, 2020, and it looks like there is a new voice cast for this game, and
including Superman again, but not that Superman, another Superman. Right, Visible Ninja, like if you're still there.
Oh yeah, it's a different Superman because original Sephiroth was voiced by
George Newbern.
The DCAU Superman, whereas the new one is the Superman from the Supergirl TV series. So yeah, so that's kind of some interesting trivia for you there.
Mm-hmm.
Both Sephiroths were Supermen.
Oh, Star Child said a couple things.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice. He said, "I'm looking forward to Final Fantasy 14 expansion." That's right. They talked about that.
Yeah.
And see if they really go through with making their. I'm gonna burp, or am I? I guess I didn't burp. I could have sworn I was gonna burp.
I know that feeling. Trust me.
And a great sadness filled his nostrils.
And to see if they really go through with making their entire game library available digitally. I hope so. That's please, because that's why emulation's still a thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these games aren't preserved.
Yes.
Yep. That's why FF8 had trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He also said, I'm not really interested, this is Star Child speaking, in FF7 remake. It looks good, but I don't think it'll live up anywhere to the hype that it's built up.
True.
That is a problem, right?
It's sad but true.
It is true. It does look good. Like, he's right. And to me and Jeff, we're not 7 fans, but we admit it looks good, but at the same time, we're like...
I mean, heck, I'll gladly admit I hate the damn game.
Yeah. But, like, I want to play it, but yeah, I don't know if I should make myself go, oh, this is the holy grail, you know?
No, you know why?
Especially after hype, like, yeah.
You know, it's like we were talking about earlier that we were hyped with PSO being announced, but there's one thing I've always hated, and Microsoft, who we earlier talked about, is guilty of this too. Timed exclusivity is just as bad as full-on exclusivity, like paid. It makes no damn sense. And Sony doing that with Final Fantasy VII Remake for the foreseeable future, in my eyes, it hurts the game on the long haul, because when you have a game on all available platforms on the get-go, the more revenue you would get back, and not just the minimum you would get from one console. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the one biggest, the one problem, especially in this age where we've got Let's Players and streamers, you're gonna have them buy the game. You're gonna have the YouTubers and streamers buy the game, stream it, and those who can't buy it on the other platform are just gonna watch people full play it.
Exactly.
So you're not gonna. So the companies aren't gonna see like the full the full money from a retail sale. They're going to see like 50% of it or something like that.
Like, real talk, I really want this game to do well because even though I despise the original, I still want the game to be great for the fans who have been waiting this for a very long time. That said, I think this is more a facetious play on Square Enix and Sony because the reason why I look at it is simple. What they're doing right now, parts 1 and 2 are going to be PlayStation 4 exclusive. But the complete version for next-gen consoles, the remaster version of a remaster or a remake, it's going to be available for all consoles except for PC. That's going to be Epic Game Store exclusive. Mark my words.
Starshow said FFC, he thinks it's going to be Duke Nukem Forever's second cousin.
Ooh. Ooh. Again, I hope that's not the case, but
it looks good. It's just like I think
knowing Nomura, it is crap. I wouldn't be surprised.
It probably will be like a good game too, like legitimately a good game. But people who overhyped it in their head, it's not going to meet their expectations. They're going to crap on it, which is kind of unfair.
Yeah.
Oh, so Maximilian, dude.
Yeah. He's built this game so much in his mind. Watch when he plays it, he's like,
real talk. I'm not calling Max out. I'm just stating the facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. We're fans of him, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else happened in Square Enix?
We got that new expansion to Life is Strange 2.
Tumblr, yeah.
And we also got that collaboration between Square Enix and Don't Nod Games.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. Remember that one game that looked like people's heads were like encased in ice or whatever?
No, yeah. They also know the Oninaki.
Yes, Oninaki.
That's the one I do remember. Yeah, I do remember Oninaki.
Which looks like we're getting two Diablos likes. If Diablo won't come out, they'll just make Oninaki and Darksiders.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what you're saying is Square Enix... So what you're saying, Square Enix, THQ Nordic, and Microsoft themselves are picking up...
what Blizzard...
Picking up Blizzard's pace.
Yes.
Yep.
And then, of course, we had Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, and then the big show, which I would say probably is going to be divisive amongst some people, but whether you like it or hate it. But of course, it was Marvel's Avengers by Eidos Montreal.
That's right. Yes. I want to see gameplay.
I do agree. It was, and you did see the gameplay that I shared, right?
No.
Oh, because I did download it. And
they did reveal it later?
No.
Okay. The gameplay was shown behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And the footage that's out there is from that.
And it looks bad.
I'm not commenting anything on it because I for one don't want to see it and
that's completely understandable from what I've seen. I know the game is still in development, but even in development, it looks like this game should have been, it shouldn't have been revealed to the public this year.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
because people kept asking, they're like, "Well, we gotta show something."
Yeah, and I do get that, but it's just like my biggest issue with this is that it already has a concrete release, right?
Yes, and that's scary.
From the gameplay I saw, which is not even fully finished.
It's like pre-alpha.
I hate to say this, but I think this is going to be the next Fallout 76.
Oof.
Oh, God.
Oof. Again, the thing is I don't doubt.
Fingers crossed, I hope that's not the case.
That's the sad part. Because my dad really wanted this game when he was still around,
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, hey, don't make me go to my dad's urn and be like, hey, they screwed up Avengers. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah. What really killed it? What really killed it for me was the announcement that they're bringing in microtransactions for the game.
I know.
They promised it, but them promises.
And they lied, right? They said that there wasn't going to be any loot boxes.
They said that, but watch. Starchild said that Avengers game looks cool, but there's a lot of unknowns about it, and but then you saw apparently Starchild that somebody leaked stuff, and
No. They're saying it shows gameplay in the trailer, but very, very, very split second.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I mean, I do like the voice cast that they have going for the game, but it's
the big hitters.
The voice cast is what? Troy Baker, Nolan North, Laura Bailey,
Travis Willingham, and Oh, geez, I can't even think off the top of my head who plays the other one.
I know Laura Bailey is playing Black Widow.
Right. And
Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey, Nolan North.
Nolan North is Iron Man. Or is he Yeah, and Travis Willingham is Captain America, and
I think and Travis Thor.
Troy
Baker.
Troy Baker is Bruce Banner.
Yeah, my partner actually gave me the list of VAs in the game. I'm just trying to find it now. Here we are. Yeah, it was Nolan North as Iron Man, Troy as Bruce, Laura Bailey as Black Widow, Jeff Schneider as Captain America.
Oh, okay.
Travis Willingham as Thor.
But
Who was Captain America?
Jeff Schneider. Never heard of him.
Me neither.
Me either.
The only one I haven't heard of. Well, there has to be somebody I haven't heard of.
But everybody else we remember from back the good old Funimation days of anime.
Yep.
Or from Critical Role, because Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham.
Mm-hmm.
They're married, right?
Replay
yeah, they're married.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, both Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey. Yeah, they're married.
Mm-hmm.
Guile and Chun-Li, huh?
Yep.
Or in my case, for Laura Bailey, Jaina Proudmore from World of Warcraft.
Oh, wait a minute. Nolan North, he wasn't with Funimation. He's always been like an American animation type of voice actor and such. Just not for like Japanese animation or anything like that.
Yeah, he was always Deadpool in the Marvel animated stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So him being Tony Stark is kind of funny. He switched from Deadpool to Tony.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Anything else in Squeenix?
I don't think there was anything else left for Square Enix's presser. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good showing. I mean, it definitely, kept. I think the pacing was really good, and the announcements that they showcased were pretty exciting for the most part, except for maybe one or two things to kind of get miffed about. But other than that, I thought it was pretty solid.
Right.
I didn't see Squares. All I know was trailers.
Yeah, and sorry to burst your bubble, Omega, but when you made mention about, or whoever made mention about the first class edition of Final Fantasy VII's Collector's Edition, who's pre-ordering that, well, I'm one of those unlucky bastards who is.
Well,
well, the thing is, Double R,
you brought it on yourself. So
yes.
I already
it was
knew.
a choice.
The minute
You played yourself.
the minute I saw that collector's edition, I was like, Double R's getting this. I'm
Yeah.
not saying a single word because I know how passionate he is about FF7. And he's going to do an unboxing video. I'm calling it now, Double R. I'm holding you to that.
Yes.
I better see it. My sub feed.
Oh, yeah. I promise I'll have it.
But because obviously I know you're a big Final Fantasy nut with your retrospective, which you need to check out on YouTube, by the way, folks.
Yes, do that.
Definitely.
It was inevitable, so I'm not saying anything more. But yeah, with Square, I didn't watch it. I like the actual presser. I just watched like trailers of what I was expecting. So, but what I was not expecting in terms of Final Fantasy VIII. But talking about big ones, I would say that's
The best for last, eh?
Oh, heck yes.
Yes.
I mean, let me talk about Nintendo first by saying, whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to get banned by Twitch. Golly, there's something I want to say. I want to say.
Son of a gun.
Something about streams. That's all I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's what Nintendo got out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, first off, I don't a Double R's Nintendo guy. Aren't I the guy who hates Nintendo?
Yes.
Why am I doing this?
Sometimes you are, yeah.
Sometimes. Dude, I like to think that myself and Jerry are the ones that are realist when it comes to Nintendo in this group.
I usually bash on him, but that's how good this was. Where I'm like, yo, Nintendo, let me do the breakdown. Double R's like, but let me do the breakdown.
I was just gonna say, wait until we get to the second to last thing that was announced. then this is where the true Xbox people will show their colors.
So Nintendo goes like, hey, we're just gonna start Dragon Quest Heroes in Smash. I want to call. I'm fans of Pat Boyvin and Maximilian, dude. Yeah. But the way I get not being interested, but the way they kind of wrote off Dragon Quest, I'm like, y'all know this is bigger than Final Fantasy. At least for a time it was. This is like a legend. This is still huge.
And Nintendo's
all around the world.
And Nintendo's been a very fervent supporter of the franchise.
I know.
Like Dragon Quest is humongous.
Mm-hmm.
Worldwide.
Also, and
they're acting like it's just another Goku. I'm like, my eyes just when Max said that, I was like, what?
I hate to say this, but it's like those type of people you just want to smack in the back of the head. Right?
Upside the head, but go ahead, Dave.
Yeah.
Isn't the next game that was announced, which was Dragon Quest XI, isn't that going to be, because Bad Gamer pointed this out to me, but isn't it going to be like a fusion between the PS4 existing Dragon Quest XI with the 3DS Dragon Quest XI?
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Even more than that.
It's literally the definitive edition of the game.
Yeah, it's the best. It has stuff that the PS4 and 3DS were missing.
And PC,
which is, orchestral music is now in.
Yes.
Voice acting is now in. More quests, more character quests.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally like Jeff said. It's literally the best version you can get is on Switch. Even like Jeff also said, even more than the PC. Usually the PC is the best version of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I have the PC version.
Yeah. Still a good game.
Yes.
But the Switch version is like the best version.
See, I weren't originally going to... Like, I was going to buy Dragon Quest XI on the PS4 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Then I heard about the alternative, and I was like, well...
But then I heard the Switch version got delayed, and I was like, I'll wait. Turns out it's actually a more smarter idea.
Yep.
But back to the Smash Dragon Quest XI announcement.
Yeah, you get to play as not only 11. You can play as the 8th one, number 4,
the 4th one, and the 3rd one,
and the first one, the 3rd one.
Yeah, the 3rd one. Mm-hmm. The one who becomes
that's going to be crazy value for that pack, though.
The one who becomes Lodo or Erdrick, as they called him in Dragon Warrior.
So wait, 3 was a prequel?
Yeah, 3 was a prequel.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I know of 5 because 5 is where like the way monster collecting is done in Pokemon is kind of like, hey, if you play Dragon Quest 5, you're actually.
Yeah,
you've actually seen this before.
Dragon Quest V is what most people, especially in Japan, consider as the best in the franchise.
Yeah. I like 8 a lot, too.
Can I make a confession?
Sure.
I've not played a single Dragon Quest game.
Let's go.
Well, 11's a good place to start.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
because I started with 8, because 7... 7 is humongous.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those 7's a long game.
Yeah, those games usually are. I mean, they have a pretty.
So I never got to play 7 because I heard I was like, whoa.
Even though they're proclaimed as easy to pick up and play, but there's still a steep learning curve to those games.
Yeah, I think.
Starchild said he has Dragon Warrior. He has the original.
Oh, nice.
And he has one of them. I guess 8. That was PS2.
8. Yeah, 8 was the only one we got on PlayStation 2.
And then they showed, like I said, the final Smash for them, which is all it was like Mega Man's. Mm-hmm. They all come together.
Yeah, it basically was a Mega Man-esque final Smash, but this time it looked. No, all it ended in was a huge power slash, which I kind of love. I love the look of that.
Yeah. They also Nintendo was like, let's stay on that Dragon Quest roll. And they showed more of 11. Now here's something that they didn't show in the stream, but they showed on Twitter. Toriyama invented a new character for the game, just for the Switch version.
Right.
And she's already a brand new waifu, man. She's like a hotter Android 21, and I'm like, Yo, Toriyama, you still got it.
He does. He does.
I'll have to look up this character after we finish it.
You
and,
must.
Yes, so 11 showed on Switch. We talked after that. Double Honor. What happened after that?
I think we were introduced to Doug Bowser after that.
Oh yeah.
And I found it
Bowser was like,
Yeah, and I found it funny how CGI Bowser was being
pretty
introduced to Doug Bowser, and then he just had this confused look on his face. He's like, "I'm not supposed to be here. Wait, I'm not supposed to be here? What's going on here?" And then he just kind of left with a sulking look on his face.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah,
maybe just another Bowser.
Are you two related? No, we get that a lot.
Then they showcased
I gotta
Luigi's
say, though-
They showcased Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah. I gotta say, though, Doug Bowser, for his first Nintendo Direct debut, he's got a really good screen presence about him already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely has got more charisma that equates more to that of Phil Spencer, I believe.
That's what I was about to say. You know, it's funny you say that, Kyle, because I was going to say something controversial that will piss a lot of fanboys off on that side.
Oh, yeah?
Not only that.
I actually prefer him over Reggie. you know me, guys. I've never liked Reggie. It's not anything due to him personally. It's just he comes up with one.
I know what Jeff's talking about. He has like a robotic way, like a very corporate way of speaking.
See, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like it's not him personally. Yeah, it's just like you said.
But after they show off Luigi's Mansion 3, I love the fact that Doug even says that he's proud to see an announcement for a series he loves.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that
yeah,
he says that, and obviously Luigi's Mansion is pretty good. But yeah, let's talk about that.
And then they showcased Link's Awakening after that.
Which is, I really want that. Oh my gosh, that game.
Yeah.
My favorite Zelda already. You know, that is my favorite Zelda. And seeing Link, you know, I showed it on my Facebook, but it's true. Seeing Link when he fished and that huge smile he has when he catches it, that was me the whole time watching this conference. And that was me with that game specifically. I'm like, look how much fun I had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that version.
Luigi's Mansion, though, I wanted to go back to that because there's two things they added, which is Gooigi, which is now single player, not just co-op.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the slam move, where I don't know why that just stuck out to me. Luigi doing Hulk slams, like finally you seeing about these ghosts. You're not scared of them no more. You see about them.
What really stood out for me more with Luigi's Mansion 3 was that it seems like that they're having more emphasis of a storyline for the game than the prior entries.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
And everything taking place in what equates to be Hotel Mario 2. Anybody?
Pretty much.
It's right. Mm-hmm. Haunted Hotel Mario. So Link's Awakening was after that. What was after Link's? Well, actually, no. Metal. Did you like Link's Awakening?
Oh God, yeah. It looks amazing. Like the art style, it just fits. We found out during the Treehouse stream that the color dungeon is still in there from the DX version, so that's actually
cool.
Kind of cool. Mm-hmm. As well as the whole kind of building your own dungeon kind of thing is also really great. No word if you can share them or not with like your friends, but
I have this worrying feeling that it's not going to be a share thing because
maybe not. Like I don't know.
It's from what I saw in the trailer, it's just going to be for if you do this dungeon in a specific way and then manage to complete it, you get an item. Like you get specific
might be
items.
that, yeah. But
and as soon as I kind of linked them pieces together, linked. As soon as I got them like worked out, I immediately thought, oh man, like I was thinking this would be like so great to have a kind of precursor to a Zelda maker of some sort in Link's Awakening, but nah. I was kind of sad after that.
Next up that they showed after that was my big mark out moment during that stream, and that was for a fully enhanced remake to the third Seiken Densetsu game called Trials of Mana.
Which looks awesome. I actually I watched the gameplay on Nintendo Treehouse, and yes, I love what they're doing with it. I really love it. Looks so much. I didn't hate the Vita ones. What was it, Secret of Mana remake?
A Secret of Mana
Like,
remake as well as Adventures of Mana.
This one looks so much like, and those look good, but this looks so much better. Like they fixed like just the characters themselves, the action, the movement, the camera. I'm like, yes, this looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo acknowledging a fan artist for that game that's been doing fan art for 20 years of Seiken Densetsu 3.
Nice.
For Reese, right?
Yeah, a lewd fan artist. They actually acknowledged it. They were like, "Yep," and I'm like, "Nintendo's one of us."
Very much.
And after they showcased, and also the Trials of Mana remake is also coming to PS4 and PC as well.
Yes,
which is good.
But after they showed that, it was an announcement for the Collection of Mana, or the Seiken Densetsu Collection, as it's known in Japan. And that was the first time where the original Seiken Densetsu 3, which they now call Trials of Mana, got localized for the collection.
Yeah.
And it was made available right during the Nintendo E3 Direct.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if anyone would be condoning this, but people have already worked out how to get the localized Trials of Mana off the Collection of Mana to run on a Super Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah, that was going to be inevitability.
Oh, by the way, Starsha has
Repro
some
cards.
comments.
Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
You want me to read them out?
Yeah.
Okay. First off, I like the direction that Nintendo is going with how they are releasing things. I'm not just interested in the Switch, especially if you don't know if they are going to release a new system around the corner that basically bricks everything that their previous system built. And the other is Link's Awakening is my favorite Zelda game, and I don't really like the engine they used to make the new game. But it would be really cool if the new version also had the old version with it as well.
That would be nice.
Ooh, do you know what? That would be so cool. But then again, I'd have to figure out how to do the Dungeon Maker in the Game Boy style and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, Star Child's idea is similar to that of the Wonder Boy remake. The Wonder Boy, the Dragon Trap remake, and the Halo 1 and 2 anniversary editions.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Street
that would be like
Fighter
the best
HD did that too.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Where you can switch them on the fly by pressing a button?
Yeah, you can switch to the old sprites and the new HD drawn sprites.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then after they showcased Secret of Mana, I think the next thing they showcased was The Witcher 3.
They got The Witcher 3.
Wrong
Big
name
surprise,
for that,
yeah.
dude. It's called The Switcher 3.
Nice.
But
Yeah, that was a big surprise. Like, I know it'd been rumored, but yeah, it was a big surprise to actually see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
if it still
Also-
plays well, I don't care if the graphics are a little weaker. Well, I just wanted to run smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did. I think it was Digital Foundry. They did some tests on the Switcher 3, and portable. They say it runs at a 400.
No, 540p. 540p.
540p. There you go. Yeah, 540p for portable, and 720
docked.
720 docked. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly, I'm not surprised
That's
with
not
the
so
docked version, but with the undocked version being at 540, that's the thing I'm really shocked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're already like Witcher 3 is already known to be graphically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
strong.
yeah. No, I get that, but it's just like that's what I was getting at. If it still is playable to an extent, then that's the only thing that should matter. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care if it's the textures aren't as spiffy as long as it plays.
Exactly.
And
But
then,
I will state this: the one thing that I was disappointed with the Nintendo Direct, and even at the Treehouses, we already know it's in development. The fact that they didn't announce a Pro Switch SKU.
Yeah,
Which
because
is funny.
Starshell mentioned that. That's why he doesn't want to buy one yet.
Which is funny, actually, because the Wall Street Journal, thanks to fairly reliable sources, have said that the rumored 2 new Switch models have already entered full production, and will supposedly be announced sometime in the next couple weeks.
Yeah,
And
for
not
a possible release.
and well, it's not
direct, yeah.
It's not only that, but they ended up having to switch their production staff or their production headquarters from China to somewhere in Southeast Asia because of U.S. trade tariffs or something like that.
Yeah, China.
No, it was the terrorist.
Yeah,
stuff.
so we could expect to see the enhanced Switch and the Switch Lite as early as late July.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good birthday present.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it would be.
Wait, no, Judge.
Okay, next up, I think they showcased the Panzer Dragoon remake.
Which,
Yes.
dude, oh my god, that was one of my favorite games ever on the Saturn, man. And I'm like, yes! Because that was another game, like 8, that we lost the code.
Oh yeah, I forgot
That
about
is
that.
right.
Yeah.
That's
They-
right.
They lost the code to the original
Yep.
Panzer Dragoon. It's like, oh dear.
So I'm glad they're doing this remake, remaster, reimagining.
Mm-hmm. It just goes to show that
something.
Square and Sega have been knowing how to do their old IPs justice, unlike a certain company that we used to love, but we just don't love anymore. That'd be Capscom or Capcops or Capcops.
I was about to say, because there's a lot that we used to love and now we despise Kyle.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but because Capcom ain't showing as much love to the Switch as Square is.
I know, right?
Pretty much Square, for some people, Square is their Final Fantasy machine now. It's got everything now. 7, 8, 9 now.
Mm-hmm.
And 10.
And 10 and 12.
It's funny bashing Capcom because don't at some point during this Nintendo thing they announce that
right,
the
Resident Evil
notorious 5 and 6 are coming.
Yeah.
To
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which are just ports, but
that's the thing,
it's still good though to have them on there. But
yeah, 6 is in my eyes is under a game, and you're not gonna get Resident Evil 7 running on that thing unless there's a Pro variant at best.
Yeah.
A lot of people like 5. I remember this one guy, he got hyped. He's like, "What?" It's like, "What? You like 5?" I was like, "Well, maybe not as a horror game, but as a co-op action game, yeah."
Yeah.
Well, the thing is with 7, you can play it on the Switch, but there was more or less a cloud version, the same as Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh.
Japan had cloud versions of Resi 7 and Odyssey. They obviously you can't play them on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they did a cloud streaming versions.
Star Trek said Crapcom. Lol.
which is funny considering a certain other company that's known for being shitty as of late announced 2 new things. A brand new Contra and the Contra collection.
Yeah, I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to get out
Konami
that
doesn't
Contra
like
collection.
games.
I mean, on Contra Rogue Core.
Yeah.
I want to buy Contra Rogue Core just to spite the people that don't like it because it's graphics.
Oh, you mean the Konami fanboys?
It's like, Konami sucks, therefore... I'm like, but this game actually looks like a proper Contra and shoot.
Yeah,
nope.
and it's just
graphics though.
And when I was looking on YouTube when I was looking on YouTube when they were showing the trailers, it's just it was half and half on the likes and dislikes. Is why? And I think I think it's more because not only that, Jeff, but I think it's more because that the trailer actually treats itself as a comedy instead of going for that whole serious 80s shtick type of representation that Contra went for back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people I saw a comment was because it looks like PS2.
Yeah, see,
and I'm like,
it's
Contra.
It's a budget game, a AA type of experience.
See, that's what I'm getting at. It's like these. It's because let's be realistic, guys. It's these. In my eyes, it's these fanboys still for Kojima saying he got wronged. Screw Konami. It's just grow the hell up.
Yeah.
You're doing the thing that you wanted them, yet you're still pissed because they did the right thing by firing Kojima. Just man up, grow a damn spine, and just buy the damn game that you supposedly want.
Mm-hmm. And then the Contra Anniversary Collection released on that same day as the Collection of Manon.
Which is interesting because it also had, the European version, Probotector.
Yes.
I remember yelling about that.
Yeah.
And I think he even had the Japanese version of the original Contra too.
Yeah.
Darkshaw said,
and the original arcade version too. So yeah.
Darkshaw talked about, since we're talking about RE earlier, he said, the RE games on Switch showing that the Switch is versatile and it's not just a kid system.
Exactly.
And he said,
I think all of us wanted Nintendo to be for a very long time. You know what I mean?
Some of the people I work with were glad to see the RE games released for it.
Next up they showed was Demon X Machina.
The game that I was waiting. Yes, I really want to play this already because I've been waiting for a mecha action game like this for a long time.
Oh yeah, we've been waiting for that for a very long time.
I mean, I like Battle Operation, but it's like very like a fast-paced one like this. Yes.
Also, this one was Armored Core, right, Jared?
Also, I want to make mention too. Before we go on any further with Demon X Machina, a good friend of ours, Nightwing01 or K-Wing Reviews, when he was doing his reactions during the Nintendo E3 Direct, and when he was delivering his reactions on Demon X Machina, it was not Nintendo who did a copyright. I mean, who did a demonetization claim. Okay. It was all Marvelous. The guys who's putting out Demon X Machina. Yes, they were the ones who gave him a copyright claim. Yes.
Wow. I didn't expect that from them. Jeez.
Well, to be fair, ever since that whole thing with the creator of Senran Kagura.
That has to do with copyright.
No, I'm saying I think it'd be kind of stingy, you know what I mean? Slowly.
No, I'll tell you who was a lot too is what's going on out there, huh?
Those are the cops going to arrest Ubisoft.
That's what I was going to bring up. Ubisoft demonetized a lot of streamers.
Yeah.
On YouTube and took away beat 'em ups.
Star Child says copyright cops. Lol.
I mean, funny enough, they started turning up the second you're talking about it.
Yeah, they took away Wood's streaming ability because Ubisoft was like, nope. And he wasn't even being down on them.
I was going to say, it weren't even Wood as well. It was Spawn Wave too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Ubisoft was going after everybody.
Anyway, so yeah, Demon X Machina, it's coming out next month, July?
I believe. My birthday as well.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Heroes. Which
that and Fire Emblem here. I mean, Fire Emblem Three Houses. You mean?
Yeah. I've got you on the brain.
Yeah. It's coming out. I think around the end of July. I know some people are not that very interested in it because of who's actually localizing it.
Oh no. Demon X Machina is released September. July is the demo.
Oh, it's September. Never mind. But
July is the demo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm still willing to give it a try, Fire Emblem Three Houses. See how it plays.
Yeah.
I mean, we can all kid around with them saying that they.
I got Landgrisser still.
We can still give them crap for copying off Square with Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy Type 0, as well as Atlas with Persona and Nihon Falcom with The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel.
With Persona.
And of course with Sega when it comes to Valkyria Chronicles.
You remind me of something with Persona and Shin Megami.
Oh yeah?
That was one thing that if I have to think, like, hey, what happened here? Nary a peep about SMT5.
Yeah.
Nary a peep. And also, people have been... Persona 5 Scramble was supposed to be for Switch. Nothing about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Persona 5 anything for the Switch. Nothing about.
Yep.
And I'm like, weird. I thought that would be there. What was after?
I think it was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Which looks good. Another Diablo-like that it's like, hey, look.
I was going to say, I'm looking forward to that because I was an old fan of the
Yes.
Ultimate
I used to love those.
And it's also coming out with an expansion pass for extra characters that come from not only X-Men and Fantastic Four, but also Marvel Knights.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, they can do it now since they have the rights again.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the expansion pass and I saw they used the '90s cartoon-esque X-Men logo,
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I lost my mind because the first thing obviously is that cartoon's theme song. But yeah,
I have it all on DVD. I still watch it.
And the creators of that cartoon are pitching to Disney to get a revival of that in the works.
Please.
To, I guess, continue the story, because didn't it kind of end off on a cliffhanger or something?
It ended with Magneto sending Xavier's brain to Lilandra. Because Xavier was like dying.
Right.
Yeah.
Magneto uses power to like download his brain. That's
magnetism.
Somehow.
I am Magneto, master of magnet.
Magnets. Yeah.
So what's after that?
Next up, Astral Chain.
That game looks
still
better.
Looking great.
Speaking of graphics and stuff, like somebody pointed it out earlier, how with Astral Chain, like they put so much detail in that game, and it's like, but I guess because it's cell shaded, that's why it can still run at a good frame rate and all that.
Yeah.
Because like that game has a lot packed in it in terms of look, and it's somehow running on Switch just fine. Like, whereas Switcher has to be dumbed down a little bit, but which I don't mind because
as long as it plays fine, then that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Astral Chain, I guess that you're playing just a bunch of futuristic cops with their own stands, essentially helping you out.
What I didn't know was that you're basically capturing the monsters and making them fight for you.
Yeah.
Like I was like, that's pretty dope.
Definitely interesting.
It's something I will take an interest into. I mean, it normally takes me a while to take a full interest into a Platinum Games title, but I'll definitely look into it. Thinking of which, I still haven't got into Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, and they even Inaba also made clarification, or he did release a statement why Bayonetta 3 was not shown at E3.
Oh, really?
He said that that a lot of people were thinking that that the reason why they're taking long because they don't think that development's progressing well, which Inaba shot them down and said, no, the progress on the game's development is going along very smoothly. I mean, just because we don't show a game doesn't mean that it's not going to be bad.
True. Yeah.
So, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah. But it is fair to crap on them announcing it too soon.
If anything, they probably should have announced it during the VGAs back in 2018, back in December.
I'm not even a fan of SMT5, but geez, that was announced years ago.
That was announced at the launch party for the Switch. Like that's my biggest that's my biggest pet peeve of publishers. Don't announce your stuff too early. Just announce when it's ready or near ready.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo, I know you're really good with that, but even you two can, drop the ball at times with that.
Well,
I was going to say, Metroid Prime 4, anyone?
There actually is one thing I want to bring up when we eventually get to Animal Crossing, because there was something I did like that.
Speaking of which,
publicly,
that is the one that we're going to next.
Good.
Yes. So take it away, Jeff.
Animal Crossing.
I'm not the biggest fan of. I as you guys know, I am not the biggest fan of the franchise. But there's one thing that Doug Bowser said after the direct. It was during one of the tree houses that he was being interviewed, saying the real reason why it was being delayed from originally a 2019 release to, ironically enough, my birthday of next year, March 20th.
Yeah, my dad's birthday.
He said that because of the recent controversy surrounding Crunch, they didn't want to pressure the team to release it on when it was originally announced, to give them time to create the game that they have in a natural and calm environment. And to hear a big-time publisher and developer like Nintendo saying that, I hope others in the industry take a heed to that, especially with the crap that's going over on Riot Games right now.
I was going to say that's what I said earlier. They need to start taking notes. They need
Riot Games and NetherRealm Studios.
Riot, NetherRealm, basically actually any big AAA developer and publisher.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's weird that we whine and complain about character designs, how they look, pushing specific agendas. But I feel like the biggest thing that we as consumers should be really pushing on is that why isn't this industry still doesn't have, a union?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really ridiculous. But yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to say in regards to the game. Because honestly, like I stated before, I'm not the biggest fan. So whoever is in this group, please share your thoughts, because that's what I just wanted to say about
Starshow said Telltale Games lol.
That's why I was bringing that up too, because
they were the worst victims of crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were working on so many projects at the same time. That's
I hope Atlas isn't doing this, because SMT5 heard nothing about, but these brand new games of Persona are coming out no problem.
Yeah.
Dancing All Night, Scramble, Royal.
Mm-hmm.
SMT5 announced years ago, still working on it.
Like, honestly, real talk, if Sega ever gets acquired by a bigger company, whether it's Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo, I would just wish it would just, cut off Atlas and just them become an indie again, because I can understand them sticking with a console, but to the point that they just, piss off other consumers by not releasing said game onto other consoles, just doing spin-offs.
Right.
Just become a Sony developer.
If right, you might as well.
Might as well be.
Like real talk, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Animal Crossing, by the way, the game itself looks cute. I showed my mom the trailer because I'm like, this seems like my mom's cup of tea. I was right. She thinks it's adorable.
And it seems like it's going back to the roots of the first game with how it plays.
Which is good.
Mm-hmm. So instead of being the mayor like in New Leaf, you can actually be one of the community people.
Actually, what I gather from New Horizons is actually the reason why you're not going to be the mayor is because essentially you have to build the place yourself.
Yeah, because you're on an island.
Yeah, so you pitch your tent, then as you see in the trailer, it progresses to you've built basically the town, and according to what I saw on Twitter, one of the villagers will mail you and be like, is our house in a good spot or anything, or do you need us to move it? Like the game will actually ask you, like, are you okay with us moving in here? Because obviously if you're going to build up the island to how you want it, you don't want the game to be like, oh, I'm just going to put a house here where you're planning to put, this small little nice area of trees. Or so you'd be like, oh, you can move your house over here instead.
And you want to know what I call Animal Crossing New Horizons? I would like to call it Animal Crossing Lost Edition. Lost, get it?
I get it.
Yes.
Yeah, we got it.
I'm going to say something I'm also going to like about this Animal Crossing. 8-player.
Fun.
Is it
8-player multiplayer?
Now, I take it that's for local players. Does that include online as well?
I think they said online, but I know they said for local. I'm wondering what the details are more later around the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's 8 players online, that's going to be great.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun, because you'll be able to do for streaming especially, you'll be able to do an on-stream fishing tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And then be like, oh, so if you do this fishing tournament, you can win this piece of furniture that I got, or something like that. You could do literal live giveaways on the stream.
Mm-hmm.
So if one of you 7 win this fishing tournament, you can have this rug or whatever.
That'd be cool.
Well, all right.
Would, yeah.
I noticed we're going long.
Yeah,
we are.
Let's go ahead and pick this back up. Real quickly, they showed off, I think they showed off a little more of Super Mario Maker 2, as well as Pokemon Sword and Shield, but they didn't really touch on those games for too long.
They showed him more in the treehouse later.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Pokemon Sword and Shield got a new waifu,
Oh,
which already had fan art
As
written.
soon as I saw her, I told Jeff this. I said, I'm going to draw her when I get home, and I did.
Yep.
And then they showcased a highlight reel of third-party games coming to the system, which a lot of them
The biggest one
highlight
on
a
there
reel
being
alone
Spyro.
was- Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That reel alone was like better than Bethesda's E3. Legit.
Yeah.
Oh, also it had like Super Lucky's Tale on there as well.
Yeah, they call it
Yeah,
news.
I just found out the guy who's writing that game, who wrote that game, is a friend of mine.
Oh, really?
Wait,
Tell me
really?
this. Yeah, I showed you the screenshot. You didn't say anything, so I guess you didn't see it.
No, I
the
didn't.
guy that wrote Super Lucky's.
Yeah. John
Mhm.
Riley is his name, and I'm like,
That's
why
cool.
didn't you tell me this? Because he's
NDA.
from well, yeah, that you know what I mean, like, because
Yeah, I know.
friend of his, he wrote comics first, and that's how we got to know each other. He was an Action Lab writer.
Mm-hmm.
Now
And the thing
he's
about-
writing.
And the thing about Spyro Reignited Trilogy, it has that same problem as the other versions, where you're going to have to download the other two games instead of the first one.
And that
Yeah.
just being pure laziness. But then again, it's Activision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you got to think about it this way as well. The cart size is not that big, so this is kind of more reasonable than the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I would say in terms of systems for Spyro Reignited, the Switch version's more reasonable to have that. Oh, you only get the game on the cartridge, and then you have to download the other two.
Yeah, but that's the thing I'm confused with. If that was the case, why didn't you just make the entire trilogy download only?
Mm-hmm.
I want a physical box.
Well, I get that, but it's like if you have one, but the other two are, download only. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I guess it's literally just for people who want a box like me.
Also,
But yeah,
there is that new game by John Romero that's coming for the Switch. What was it? Empire of Sin.
oh yeah, the Mafia game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which definitely, which does look kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And
And not to mention that we're actually getting Alien Isolation on Switch too, which was
yes.
Oh, yeah. That was in the reel. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Like I said, that reel alone was better than some E3s.
Mm-hmm.
But what was after the reel? Because
After the reel was the inclusion of the third downloadable character for Smash. And that was, but the trailer, how they showcased him, it had to be the most respectful way on how to show a trailer for a
Dave,
character.
How did you feel about that?
I gotta hear this.
It's rare that I cry about anything.
Yeah. I get it, because
Rare. Yeah.
Because the second you see the trailer and you see the Jiggy come by, I was like, are you serious?
And then DK and then Diddy and then King K. Rool, they wake up inside DK's house and then they go to the window and then they see the silhouette.
They pull the K. Rool troll. So if you remember when King K. Rool was announced to Smash, they had King DDD like stand in front of Donkey Kong's window.
Yep.
And be like, I fooled you. It's me, Dio, or it's me, DDD.
Yeah,
but
but instead it was the Duck Hunt dog, and the Duck Hunt dog, that actually made a lot of sense because of how much he likes to taunt you when you miss the ducks and Duck Hunt.
So I'm so glad the way Banjo actually came in. I'm like, yeah.
They had like Banjo just drop in and smack him out and then go bling.
And then all of a sudden DK, Diddy, and K. Rool, they were just excited and happy. It's like old friends are like reuniting for a long time.
Yeah,
especially that was the intent. Yeah,
because of the history of them being actually made, like that version of DK, Diddy, and K. Rool being made by Rare. It's more fitting. Plus, the new Spiral Mountain version from Kirkhope.
Star Child.
Dookie Kong.
But no,
Yankee King.
I sat there and I was watching the trailer, and on my stream, I seriously need to pull a clip from me reacting to this. I genuinely was crying.
I don't blame you, dude.
Welcome to be Sony 2015.
Yeah, and there were times that I did too, like when the announcement of freaking System Shock 3 was revealed to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I sat there crying because of just the new version of Spiral Mountain from Grant Kirkhope.
That was Grant?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Grant.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Grant's doing the music for done the Spiral Mountain music for it.
But I do have something to say about that. Nothing bad, but it does give me hope about the future of the IP. As we all know, with these DLC characters, regardless of it being, like Mortal Kombat, DOA, or recently talking about with the game that's in question, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the characters that are being revealed and being included usually have something in play for current or near future announcements.
The thing is that Microsoft wanted to. Well, Microsoft weren't opposed to the idea because I was looking up after the trailer, and it was just a simple. They can if they want.
And I remember Phil saying that for years. You know what I mean? Even on Twitter. But how you see DLC characters included, it's usually for something that's coming in the future for that particular IP. For example, when Bayonetta was announced, that was before we even knew about the dual pack that was going to be announced for Switch as well as Bayonetta 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know what one of my most wishful thinking is now? If they're doing a Nintendo 64 Mini, that means they could either put Banjo-Kazooie on there.
I really don't think it's that, dude. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but what happened with Rash in the inclusion of Killer Instinct 2013, and then a couple years later the announcement of a new Battletoads game, I think that's the plan from Microsoft. The reason why they included Banjo because not only they wanted him to be in there for the inclusion of the character's history. But I think they have plans to revitalize the IP. Granted, if it's a built from the ground up remake or new game. I think that's
but here's going to be the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, I would love this is a dream love, by the way. If in that case, Nintendo and Microsoft make it possible to be on both Switch and Xbox One.
I think that's the plan. I would not be surprised if that's the plan.
And then they announced the specified release windows for both Dragon Quest Hero as well as Banjo-Kazooie, which the Dragon Quest Hero is going to be this summer as well as Banjo-Kazooie being this fall for the DLC pack.
Wow.
The only gripe I have with that is that, and this is the funny thing, Ubisoft did a better job of announcing the Division 2 DLC. Sakurai and his team should have stated who else was going to be the final DLC character.
Yeah, I don't because you're right. I don't like putting $25 on something I don't know what I'm gonna get.
Because you don't know if you're gonna like it or not. That's a waste of damn money. Dude.
I mean, hey, yeah, exactly. Hey, this isn't a gacha game.
Exactly, but this is Japan. You just said it what it is. It's basically a gacha system, but worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just got 2 characters left, and we don't know when we're gonna hear about them.
Yeah.
In all due respect, I'm not trashing on Persona. I don't like the franchise. When people were getting hyped for Joker's, oh yeah, that's cool. That's not my thing. Why would I want to waste money for $25 just for one character I don't care about? You know what I mean? But again, that's just me when it was announced. But let's wrap it up.
Starchild says before we wrap it up, he says, "I'm guessing that his inclusion into Smash Brothers is a test run to see if making a new game is worth it."
That's why I was saying, yeah, because in regards to any fighter, when a DLC character is announced or included, it's something that's being worked on or being planned in the pipeline. Like the aforementioned Mortal Kombat 11. The announcement of Evil Dead's Ash Williams. There has to be something being made in accordance with the IP. And I mean, even though Bruce has said he's done with the character, but...
Mm-hmm. Anyways...
it comes down to business.
Anyways, last but not least, you may think that the announcement of Banjo and Kazooie and Smash Brothers was the last thing, but nope.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo had one last surprise up their sleeves. And
this was the big one.
Talk about a bomb drop. No, yeah.
Yeah. So basically what they showed was footage of both Link and Zelda as they appeared in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but instead Zelda has shorter hair, very short hair, which I actually like that about her this time around, because she usually is a long-haired gal, but she now has shorter hair, and I do like how there are females who have shorter hair like that. It just gives them a different, just showcase a different side of their beauty, I guess you could say.
Right.
But anyway, there was a lot of stuff that was going on in that trailer, but then all of a sudden at the end of it, it says not DLC for Breath of the Wild, but an actual sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is now in development.
Yeah.
Which... Has that happened?
On
a console. On mobile, on handhelds, there have been sequels to previous.
Well, they did that for Majora's Mask.
Yeah, that was back in 2000.
Wow.
But I've got to say this. That Zelda reveal, though. I mean, I loved Breath of the Wild. And to know that they are working on another edition, also the whole theory crafting behind this Breath of the Wild 2, as it is, has been crazy.
Yeah.
People have been theory crafting for a while, and I'm now starting to see all the pieces, because they think that the body that you see in the trailer is that of a shriveled up Ganondorf.
Yes, that's what I'm Yeah, that's what I'm actually believing as well. Because what the final, I thought
that was a lady.
Because the main antagonist in the original Breath of the Wild was just known as Calamity Ganon, just not Ganondorf.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, with them announcing that a sequel is now in development, it kind of makes me hopeful that we might actually see this game released like in the holiday of next year, or at least early 2021 at the latest. Since because they won't even have to recreate that much new source code for the game, because they pretty much have the original source code on
assets,
them. But the original assets. But if they wanted to include things. If they wanted to include new things like, the power-ups that people are more accustomed to, as well as dungeons, because that was one thing that was lacking in Breath of the Wild, is that there was little to no dungeons whatsoever, and they just only had the shrines that took place. So unless if they were going to go for that route while keeping the mechanics of Breath of the Wild intact, then yeah, I could see them, doing this really quickly. Well, to take their time with it at least, but at least get it out in a much quicker time frame in that sense.
Well, they'll be able to, because obviously they're using the Breath of the Wild engine, so they'll be able to pull a Majora's Mask turnaround. But obviously, as we've been saying about crunch culture, I don't want them to work too quick on this.
Right.
Yes.
I don't mind them taking a bit of time. So, I mean, you can either release it in the window of, say, Holiday 2020, or you can go even more extreme and go for the next Switch anniversary, which is not the one coming next year, but the one in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Shout said something, and then I wanna wrap it.
Yeah. Read that up. But what I'm gonna say is,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't mind when they release that. I'm just more or less looking forward to just playing a new Zelda game, because Breath of the Wild was pretty damn good.
Take your time to make it good.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Star Shout said, I don't like the way Breath of the Wild looks. I'm guessing, though, that making a continuation is a lot easier of a transition than making a completely new game with a new story. So I'm guessing that's why they're doing a sequel. They're making a whole new entry.
Well, yeah, that too. But Aonuma said he wanted to revisit that world, or that Hyrule in Breath of the Wild, because just looking at it, it just seems like that huge, humongous world has a lot of potential in it, where more story could be discovered.
Yeah.
No, like I said, my final thoughts on Nintendo was, of course, that it was great. Learning more, though, Visible Ninja, I want to bring you back in here real quick, since I didn't want to. It's already like 2 hours and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yo,
there is something we learned about a Pokemon Sword and Shield, and that's people are just freaking out about it, and you and me are like the sane ones here, like, hey, chill.
We're just because Junichi Matsuda said during the Treehouse demonstration that moving forward, they've decided to basically limit the amount of Pokemon that appear in the games to kind of smaller, more hand-picked Pokemon that are appropriate or otherwise kind of fitting of the area they're going to be in, and not all Pokemon will appear in every game. Which means that there will be no National Pokédex, as well as any Pokemon that you move up from, the 7th generation games, Sun, Moon, etc., from the Pokemon Bank into Pokemon Home, which is their new kind of cloud service. If they're not in Sword and Shield, they'll just stay there, going absolutely nowhere, which is why some people have jokingly called it Pokemon Prison now.
Right.
However,
Weird.
Matsuda was asked by somebody there, and he did say that they have not ruled out just patching in all the other Pokemon post-release.
Right.
But yeah, let's just say the Poke community is in flames right now between people demanding, canceling pre-orders, telling them to, hashtag bring back the national dex. Other people saying, oh, you're just entitled babies, et cetera, et cetera.
I was going to say, this is similar to that of Super Mario Maker 2.
With the with the
Like
whole
Super
playing
Mario
online with
Maker
friends.
2.
Yeah.
Wouldn't let you do that, but
They
they're going to patch that in.
Yeah, they took that.
There's no said to reason that they can't, just patch in National Dex Pokemon like later down the line or
yeah, because like I said, Matsuda said they're not like they haven't ruled that out.
Right.
But yeah, let's just say there's quite a furor over it. I'm kind of in the neutral spot of I understand kind of why Game Freak is saying that, because Matsuda even explicitly stated they don't want fans to wait so long between games. So by doing this, instead of waiting like 4 to 5 years between like mainline games, not counting, second versions and etc., the wait might be only something like 2 years.
Which isn't bad.
But people, are pissed that, there's a possibility that some of their favorite Pokemon or like some of their teams that they've kept with them from like the 3rd generation are going to be no longer usable and not even, exist in the Galar region. And so they're like royally like raging right now.
Well,
It's so bad. It's so bad that even the Pokemon's promoting the upcoming World Championships that's taking place next weekend. Let's just say don't go to the comment section.
Yeah.
Well, I got
even on Instagram.
I got a question to ask all those crybabies.
He's the Pope Catholic, you cheeky tart.
Oh god, I still love that.
It's true though. Same thing with Shenmue, Epic Game Store thing. It's like I get it, but at the same time they never said.
They only said Windows PC. It never said CK.
Yes.
So
right.
You guys
I'm with you, Jerry. I understand the hate towards the Epic Store.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous. They're still getting the game. I mean, I have the right to say that because I am one of the backers, so you're still getting the game.
Yes.
Right.
It's just not on Steam. And also, it's coming out later for Steam, so why did you complain to begin with?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I have to wait a year? Yeah, that's your
something
problem.
people want to jump. Their entitlement is up through the roof.
Like real talk, and I hate to say this, but, I hate to say this publicly, but the real reason I've been so iffy of coming back to streaming is because of all this negative crap that's been, surrounding gaming. Funny enough.
Something.
And this, for me, like what happened with Shenmue, I'm at my breaking point just completely, like, being done with gaming because of the crap like this. You know what I mean? I'm not even joking.
Even if something good happens, they'll find something to make they'll make up something to get mad at.
But that's the reason why I brought up Angry Joe earlier, because I'm not saying we, but gamers like to listen to other entitled people who just love the clickbait and don't care about the actual big issues with gaming like we do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to put ourselves on a pedestal, but at least we actually care about the future of this industry, unlike most people on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, with that said, I like now that we finally got all that out of the way, Nintendo was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good.
Ubisoft and Nintendo were the strongest ones this year.
Well, for me, it's Squeenix and Nintendo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I meant to say those three. My bad. Thank you.
And Microsoft, yeah. So, yeah, shoot, let's plug.
Yes.
Any final thoughts? And I mean quick.
Nope, not really. Just looking forward to doing more of these streams next year.
It was good.
All right, Nintendo was great, and this comes from me.
Yeah. I think unanimously that's coming from both you and me, who are the Nintendo detractors in the group.
I was going to say, for quickness, I'm going to say Microsoft, Square, and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Dane, you're the guest. You want to plug?
Let's see. So, let's see what I mostly do. Well, I'm mostly on Twitch. So I do streaming mostly, most of them modern games, but after E3 I did start playing Banjo-Kazooie. So that'd be a game I'll be streaming as well. But yeah, I mostly do streams here on Twitch. So I'm mostly on like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturdays. So normally streaming all the modern games if I can, or anything from the old back catalogue. So,
that's what Twitch.tv.
Yeah, Twitch.tv/Omega Mario. So if you want to come check that out, you're more than welcome to drop on by.
Mm-hmm.
Or otherwise, you end up seeing me here in chat if I can be awake for the streams.
darn time difference.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, all right, Visible Ninja, what you got?
All right, thanks. Anyways, check me out on Twitter at Visible Ninja 0. Check me out on the YouTubes at Visible Ninja Dojo. I have my little live show I do Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which is Ninja Talks Live, where we talk about some of the things that myself and my buddies enjoy in Japanese media. Namely, those sexy mecha animes and them awesome, men in spandex shows. That is the mecha shows and the tokusatsu. So check that out. And also check out hero-club.com for hero news. It's a good place. Bada boom.
All right. Jeff?
You beautiful Joe.
Twitter.com/16bitjeff, Twitch.tv/16bitjeff. Like I just said a couple of minutes ago, like I really do want to get back into streaming, but it's just because of the negativity that's been surrounding gaming. That's been the main reason why I've been really questioning if I want to return or not. But I will definitely update you guys on that in the coming future. So look forward to that. We do have the Discord. The link provided at the bottom of the video player. Just click on the icon, the TGF, and again, it's, as I stated, as always, it's the best way to get in contact with myself, Fighter Xaos, as well as RRPG.
Yes.
So if you want to get in contact with us individually or just talk to us as a group, Discord is the best place to get in contact with us. That's it.
Okay, so I take it I'm next.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Well, you can follow me on youtube.com/RRPG reviews. I do my retrospectives, my reviews. I archive my live streams from Twitch onto my YouTube page right there, as well as the 2 cents videos. Don't know when I'll be back to doing those, but I am heavily thinking about coming back to streaming, as I want to try and reboot myself amongst the streaming scene. But there are some games that I do want to come back to, like, Trails of Cold Steel 2, because Trails of Cold Steel 3 is coming out this September. But I'll deliver you guys more details on that when I get the chance. You can also follow me on facebook.com/RRPG reviews, as that is my Facebook fan page. You can follow me on twitter.com/RRPG reviews, as that's my personal page on Twitter. And if you want to see me streaming more on Twitch, then you'll find me at twitch.tv/RRPG reviews. So be on the lookout for more content that's coming from me in the future, not only from the Geek Fighters, but also for myself, that you are not going to find anywhere else. I had a really fun time with this year's E3, and I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow when we get on with going through more Shenmue, the original. And for E3 itself, I'm definitely looking forward to it next year. And bada bing, bada boom for me.
So you can follow me. I'm Fighter Xaos. That's Fighter Xaos. Key Alpha Omega Sigma in Greek, but nobody reads Greek, so I'm using the American alphabet. American. Right. Sorry. Dane's over here like, what? What'd you just say?
Wait, hey, Polanoni.
Dane's like, what you say? Yeah. We invented the language and you say it American?
Yep.
He's like, what?
Fighter Xaos in the English alphabet. In the Roman characters. Really. Romans what invented it. But the reason I'm plugging my Twitter because everything's on there. Just go to my pinned tweet and you'll find all my other links. And on other social media, if you want to just follow me on Instagram or Facebook, it's also Fighter Xaos. Same thing. All one word, Fighter Xaos. Fighter Xaos. Bam, you'll find me. Pixiv, I think it's just Xaos on Pixiv, but the URL is Fighter Xaos? I don't know.
Right.
DeviantArt, same thing. That's me. Just go to Twitter, find the pinned tweet, and you'll find working on a Sailor Moon animation. So if you want to like tip me some money for putting in the work on that, go to my Twitter, find my pinned tweet, and you'll see my Ko-fi link and my Tapas links. Because Tapas, if you're broke, that's where you can help me out anyways. Because just by sharing and getting ad views on it, that helps me get money. Mm-hmm. That's me, because, boy, I am starving.
Yeah, me too. So, anyway,
I haven't eaten
as we said, join us tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, when we return to Shenmue on the Sega Dreamcast to continue our commemoration on the 20th anniversary of Sega's last console. So, anyway, to sign off, I'm Double RPG.
16-bit Jeff.
Mega Mario.
Visible Ninja.
Thank you.
Meow.
And I'm Fighter Xaos.
And Jerry, take it away with your two most famous words.
Nimu kanyo.
Peace out, Piccolo poppin' bottles, y'all. See you next year for another great E3 extravaganza.